Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second day here at the AVGL Collegiate Smite League. My name is J Mac Tucker. With me today on the cast is going to be Emu, and we're going to be watching University of Wisconsin taking on University of Illinois, Urbana, Champaign.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to say the entire thing there. That's a long name, but I am very excited for this. University of Wisconsin on the left side, the University of Illinois. We'll leave it at that on the right. Uh, I'm excited to see this game.
Yeah, with the first round of bans already through, only surprise that I see is the Ao Kwang taken off the table, but Kakolin, Fafnir, and Ardio all taken off.
Yeah, I think that without Kwong, especially, he's a very good late game hyper carry, and people do still have a hard time remembering that you're never at 100% health. He has a 30% execute, so you're only at best at 70%. It's a really hard thing. If he gets online, he can absolutely carry games. So it makes sense to just ban him out as a comfort thing. I do like the Ganesha pickup from Wisconsin, the Kernanos as well. That's going to give them a very, very strong dual lane. Uh, Geb and Ravana on the other side are both good picks as well.
Yeah, Kernanos Ganesh is just very standard. We've seen teams like SPL Gatekeepers with Pain Divion and Data Remember. They love running this draft. I know there's some of the Southeast Asian teams that just love this matchup in general in the duo lane. And Nemesis to round out the draft so far for Wisconsin before we go into the counterban phase. The Geb and Robin on the other side, picking up their support so early. What's the reasoning behind that early Geb pick?
Well, Geb adds a lot of safety to your team. Is for one thing, the shields all the time coming up. It's going to allow your guys to be safer, take some shielding. The other thing that it does is because Ganesha comes out on the Wisconsin side, Illinois, by picking the Geb, it prevents them from getting banned out. It might say that their support doesn't have the deepest god pool. He's afraid of, sort of his top tier picks getting banned out. Or it could just be he likes Geb, he thinks Geb's a top pick, he wants it right away. It's not a bad pickup, and it will prevent it from getting banned out.
And with the final pick coming through, it's Jing Wei on the side of Illinois. Banning phase comes through already. It's Odin and Nox taken off the table for Illinois. Wisconsin, they don't want that Morrigan in play. And Morrigan, a really strong goddess coming up as of recently.
Yeah, she just adds so much mobility, or not mobility, but utility. I mean, the fact that she can turn into any god is pretty impressive. If the other team gets something big like a Freya or whatever, a Jingwei, well, now you just use the Morrigan ult. Now you have that. You have that Jingwei on your team. So it's really helpful, especially in that late game. If they have anyone on their team getting big, you can turn into them, and now you're big too. And she does an incredible amount of damage just in her normal base form, even without that ultimate. So it is a good pick, and it's a highly contested one.
Right, and with Osiris being the last ban off the table, option now goes back to University of Illinois. They've rounded out their duo lane, very likely have their jungle with that Robin pickup. So there's still a lot of mid laners open on the table. Do you take the Thoth here early on, as he's been kind of the high contention pick? Do you go for something else like a Giannis or a Poseidon here? What kind of mid lane are you looking with this team?
Well, you can go with something that's a little more late game because you have that Ravana early. It'll allow you to get away with it. On the flip side of that, you can partner with something that's a little bit more early game centric. Something like even a Poseidon would be good. There's going to be a lot of setup on that Ravana. You can use those Krakens to get some bursts, but generally it's been sort of a late game situation. It wouldn't surprise me to see something like a Kronos even would be pretty good in that mid. Uh, Something. It would be also helpful to have mobility because of Nemesis on the other side. If you get ulted, you're in trouble if you don't really have mobility.
Right,
Uh,
I do. Oh yeah, I do love the Nemesis pickup on the side of Wisconsin with how tanky of a lineup that University of Illinois has picked up. Two Warriors and a Geb. That's a lot of defense to shred away. That's a lot of big targets for Nemesis to use to get into the fray of the fight. Wukong and Giannis to round out the draft for University of Wisconsin.
yeah, Wisconsin has a lot of mobility. They can get that Giannis portal around. Wukong can bird form all over the place. Nemesis has double dash. There's a lot of mobility on that side. Isis being hovered. That's an interesting one.
ISIS will kind of help out that early game that they're really lacking as far as the remainder of their team goes. Bologna's kind of that early mid bully, Robin the same thing, but Geb Jingwei is really looking more towards the late game, but they're going to say no to the ISIS, and instead Scylla is going to be the lock in to make sure to get that late game I'm a monster online. That's the danger of the Zilla is when you get her to the late stage and she just 1-2 ult.
And Geb's going to have great setup for that. Going to absolutely stun people and Silicon ult on top of it or crush and root on top of it. There's a lot of setup for her on that team and a lot of defense as well with Geb can peel for her. And I mean, if they do have to, Ravana and Bologna can peel decently well.
Yeah, it's a lot of setup for the Scylla. Like you said, stun from Geb with the Cataclysm. An Eagle's Rally over the top could be a good one. They do need to be careful with the knockup from Jing Wei. You don't want to maybe accidentally take somebody out of the shot from I'm a Monsters. Very strong synergizing lineup coming from the side of University of Illinois. Looking into it, which of these two teams are you kind of favoring, or at least what is it going to take for one team to take down the other one?
Do really like both teams. I think both teams are doing things a little different. The Wisconsin team, that Nemesis ultimate onto the Ravana, onto the Bologna is going to strip away the protections and going to make them very, very vulnerable. But it's going to be difficult. This Ravana could look to invade the jungle of this Nemesis. Bologna's probably going to have a pretty good lane into this Wukong. There's a lot of pressure coming out from the University of Illinois, but Wisconsin, if they can play it safe, get to that late game, definitely have a composition that can deal with this much tank.
Yeah, especially with someone like Kernanos, we all know how much more powerful he gets as the game goes on, getting those summer stance auto attacks in. We've even seen how well a utility that comes from the slow or the protection shred from the autumn stance into it. And Ganesh, nobody wants to get stuck inside the pillars. If you're trapped for even half a second, that's big setup for the remainder of your team. So a lot of CC, a lot of control coming out from the side of Wisconsin, but a lot of just big setup in general from Illinois.
Yeah, absolutely. The Illinois team, with that Geb blinks in, hits an ultimate, Scylla comes over top, Eagles rally from Bologna comes in, Ravana can jump in, Jingwei can knock people up. There's so much CC and there's so much people can just appear. You know what I mean? You're in mid lane, for instance, walking around, and then all of a sudden Ravana and Bologna jump the wall and you're dead. There's a lot of surprise there. They need to have the wards out for Wisconsin. That's a big one. Having wards, having vision, knowing where everyone is. If they can do that, I think Wisconsin does have a slight edge in this game, though.
I think that was a good point. There was over the wall for both these two teams. Robin and Bologna have that capability to chase somebody, as well as Ascilla. All three of these members have the ability to ignore a wall that might come through. So even a god like Giannis might not be the safest if he uses that portal incorrectly, as even though he's got that escape to go over this wall, you got three other members who can just chase him right down afterward.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of Giannis players, I think that's part of the reason we've seen Giannis almost fall off a little bit is because there are so many gods now that can jump over walls, and so many of those gods are big right now. So many of those gods are in the meta. Ravana is a good example, and Bologna are two great examples of that. It does make him a little less safe than normally is. Giannis, however, is still a great pick. Anytime that you can ultimate, get your whole team to the other side of the map, that's, that god's always going to be good.
I mean, we've seen in the past what Giannis ultimates can do. I've seen double kills come off of a Fire Giant attempt where Giannis said, "Oh, they're doing Fire Giant. Just gonna fire this shot across the map from base, takes out two members, and oh hey, look, we stole the Fire Giant from you as well." They need to be very careful about how they choose their objectives because you're never safe when Giannis is on the board.
Absolutely. And I think that the biggest thing to take away from the draft is neither team won the draft. In the draft either, though. It's really going to come down to how you can play it because both teams have elements that will allow them to win this game, and it's going to come to how well they use those elements in order to win.
Right. Nobody really is just like, oh, well, this team just horribly picked their gods, or this team was as amazing picks. Everything is pretty just safe. Everything's standard. Everything's kind of evened out. Like you said, it's all how it comes down to these teams play their compositions.
I would agree with that very much. I think that it's just going to matter. It's just going to depend on how well you play it, and that's a tough thing to say, but it's the truth.
All right, and with that, we are going to be getting into the game here. It's University of Wisconsin taking on University of Illinois, Urbana Champaign, but we'll keep it simple for you guys with Wisconsin and Illinois taking each other on first time and only time up until potentially championship season. Remember, this is a group stage round robin. They'll play each other in a best of three, and maybe later down the road they'll see each other, but for now, a good of match.
Yeah, absolutely, and I like both the starts out of this. Both supports going into Lono's mask, for instance. The Jingwei went into the Bumbas and the Death's Toll, whereas the Kerninos went Bluestone and is going to try and rush into that Devourer's Gauntlet. That's just going to be a little difference in how they do it. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference in the overall, but it's going to be an interesting thing to watch at the beginning.
Looking into a jungler starting in the mid lane, no surprise, but for the duo lane, got the red side starting up on their buffs, where blue team they're starting in the lane. What's kind of the option? Where do you distinguish which lane you start in?
Well, it's a very interesting thing. It comes down to what you feel is best for your team. I've always preferred starting at the red and the purple. I think it gives you more farm. But this Ganesh and this Kurtanos have a very, very good early clear. It's going to allow them to push that wave in and then hopefully go and get their purple and their red. If they don't get invaded, they are going to end up with more experience.
Hold that
Uh,
thought though. Mid lane, Leomon near the elementals, gonna target them out. Crush is gonna land on. He's gonna get away for the time. The shell from I Have It gonna be enough to get him out of danger, but flipping around the bottom side. Here's Southfam. Force out the Aegis with the 10-hand Shadow Fist. Cut Master's Will
yeah.
won't be enough to save you for now, and Southfam gonna claim first blood onto Lemon.
He just had nowhere to go. He just ended up in a bad spot there. There was enemies on his right, enemies on his left, and he was just stuck. That's a tough situation. A little over aggressive early. Like I said, Nemesis better in the late game. She has to get to that late game though. You got to play it a little safer. You can't be giving up first bloods like that, or it's going to make it a very difficult game for yourself.
Exactly. Nemesis. She did receive a buff not too long ago where, her jungle clear is a little bit more potent, but she's still an early game Nemesis. And though it's a Scylla, Robin is the one who really helps the Scylla out in the early game. That root, if you go for it at level 1, and that's kind of where both teams figure out is, do we want the root? Do we want the slow?
Yeah. And it's really going to come down to Ravana's just a big old bully. That's what he does. He's not this, he's just there to bully people and to annoy them and go, oh, I need to get this guy off of me, but he's so tanky. That's why he's so good. He does a lot of damage, and he's very unkillable for a very, very long time. So it's really annoying, and it's very dangerous to let him get ahead early because he's very, very strong.
And when you have this double warrior versus assassin warrior, it makes one side just that much tankier for it. I have it taking a lot of poke from Constipated in the solo lane, but we'll be able to use that Ox form, get out of danger for the time being. There's been a lot of fighting in the dual lane, but everybody's still fairly healthy. Hasn't taken too much poke. Hasn't really been forced out. Deport's going to knock up D Trump, but that's the power of the Jing Wei is she can just fly away from knockups.
Yeah, it is a really helpful ability. Jingwei's, that's a very annoying ability. You realize this when you play things like Sobek against her and you hit the pluck and she just dashes away from it. She is very safe on those knockup based things, so that is a positive for her. She gets a little bit of an advantage there.
Fortunately for Constipated, not level 5 yet, can't chase down I Havoc. It's going to allow him to get up into the cloud, get a little bit of his HP back, get some mana regen as well. But even though it's level 5 to level 4, I Havoc really hasn't had the best time in this lane against him.
Yeah, it's just sort of a Bologna early. Bologna does a lot of damage. He's a little bit of a bully. This whole side really is very much a bully. So it makes sense that it's a tough matchup. Even if you win it, it still kind of isn't fun to play into.
Limon walking away with about 10 HP after that I'm a Monster from Nephiliad in the mid lane. Gonna be able to get away for the time being, but unfortunately sent back to base before that level 5 and the boots power spike that you want on that jungler. So gonna take a little bit longer for him to come online, where his opposition Southfam, already level 5, could make a rotation and get someone out.
Yeah, and he did get the first kill, so the Ravana is sitting on enough gold to go back and buy boots. So it's just a matter of when looks like he's going to go back right now. It was just a matter of when he wanted to go back and get those. That first blood, that's the value of it, right? You get 500 extra bonus gold when you get it. So he's going to get his boots online so much faster. It's going to make him rotate faster, going to make him hit harder, and that's a really unfortunate thing when it's already a Ravana jungle on the other side.
So usually we're used to seeing now these mid laners start with the tier 2 towards Book of Thoth, but neither of them have opted towards it. What's this Soulstone, coming Soulstone versus Sands of Time? Which do you choose, and kind of what's the reason for either of these two gods?
Well, Soulstone allows for a lot more power out of it. You're going to get, after you use the passive on Soulstone, you're going to get 40 magical power. For a god like Scylla, who scales incredibly well, 40 magical power is a lot of extra damage, especially in the early game. Uh, for the Giannis, the Sands of Time is going to give him more cooldown. 10% cooldown at the cost of 800 gold is a lot of cooldown. And for a god like Giannis, who wants to use his abilities as much as possible, it's very helpful. But really, the reason for both starter items is mana. Both gods need mana in order to use abilities. Both of these items give them more mana.
Right. Not only that, the Sands of Time, as you said, you gave it the cooldown reduction, and then the mana passive on top of it, uses more spells, which Giannis is kind of need to do early on. He's gonna get that extra MP5 with it. 5 minutes into the game, still only the first blood on board, and that's for Salfam. Has his boost 3 now, looking to fight out against Limon, who will steal those mid harpies away from Salfam, but it's gonna be a Geb shield over the wall from Genius, and just gonna go back to farming.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that was sort of the situation. Limon, that was a good plan on his part to go in there and to get those. That's what he needs to be doing as much as possible. It's a little risky, but he was totally safe with it, so it's a good play. He just gets some free farm, takes it away from the enemy. If he can close the gap, if he can keep this gap close, he does have a much better late game on that Nemesis, so he just needs to be doing his best to stay even with his Ravana.
Havoc over in the solo lane, still just having a little bit of a box out with Constipated. Will use that Ox form, just get himself close that distance out. But we can see Shell 3 already for Havoc. Why such an early pickup on the... Oh, actually, no, that's just Shell 2. It looked like a Shell 3 to me. Just Shell 2. But double Shell versus double Sprint. What's the thought process behind this one?
Well, I think the shell is just such a valuable active right now. It gives you a giant health shield whenever you need it. That allows a lot more boxing, a lot more. You can put yourself in a bad situation and then shell your way out of it. He does have to be careful. There's a bit of a rotation around. I think this sprint is just to chase people down. He has to be. Yeah, he's gonna have to ult out of there. I have it not in the best spot. I don't think that was the right time to look to go into the enemy jungle there. I think it's just the Bellona just wants the sprint to chase people down if she needs it. Wukong wants the shell to keep himself alive and anyone else in case they engage onto him. I think that's pretty much the reason why you would see that.
Right, and once you do upgrade that, you get the complete slow immunity from it. You even have it at the base rank of it. And with how many slows are on the side of University of Wisconsin, no surprise that at least one's picked up. Two, maybe a little bit much early on, but I can see the reasoning back behind it. And we saw the shell come into play early on. Wasn't enough to save Limon, but it was enough to keep the fight going a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think the shell on the Geb is absolutely necessary, especially for the Ganesha and especially for the Nemesis. The Bellona, the reason for the sprint might very well be just that Nemesis, the fear of that gank, the fear of that ultimate coming down onto the Bellona is a very, very good reason for having that sprint, and it'll be more helpful if you can run away than the shell would be in standing there and having a little extra health.
So far, again, 8 minutes in, and haven't really seen a whole lot of action outside the first blood. A little bit of fighting, a little bit of boxing out. One good, I'm a monster. One enough to take down Limon, who's going to get rooted out by Salfem in the mid lane. Approaching nearly that 10-minute mark where Portal Demon's going to be coming online. And I think that's where we're going to start seeing the first real big fights of the game.
Yeah, I think that, the University of Illinois is just taking it pretty slow, or the University of Wisconsin is taking it slow, and the University of Illinois is allowing them to do that. I'm not sure that's the right call. I'd like to see Illinois getting a little more aggressive, mostly because Wisconsin does have such a strong late game.
Well, they're going to be doing just that over in the solo lane. Forced out the Somersault Cloud already from Havoc. But he's going to jump down aggressively under the tower, putting out quite a bit of damage. Constipated getting a little too low. Forced Eagles rally, but Limon is going to pick him up with one shot into the back. Caught in the middle is poor little Nephiliad and poor little Genios. He's not able to get away from the wrath of the double kill on Limon.
Yeah, I just said that Wisconsin was trying to slow play it, and then they did something like that. They dove under that tower to get him. Nephiliad's dead too. He was just in a bad spot there. Enemies on both sides of the tower. He didn't have a whole lot of places to go. They made something happen right there. I thought they were slow playing it, waiting for that late game. They totally did the opposite of that and pushed aggressively. Are going to get 3 kills and get the tower as well.
And what's a little strange was Constipated had that sprint online the entire time, but never opted to use it despite the rotation from Limon, who you said earlier on, Limon's the one that you want that sprint against. You want
Yeah.
to cleanse those slows and keep yourself going. You want to make sure to keep away. Not using it seems a little questionable.
Yeah, I'm not sure with that. I mean, that could have just been a situation where he was waiting for the right moment. He was waiting for the right moment to have the ultimate come out so that he could sprint it. But then at the end of the fight, you're just dead and you've not used it yet. It's a really tough situation. You want to save it for the right moment, but if the right moment never comes, well, then you've wasted using it. Uh, a little quicker on the trigger is what I'd like to know. Pull it, even if it's not the perfect situation, it's still a pretty good one. You might want to pull it out.
I think that's the important part is you either use it or you lose it. In this case, Constipated lost his life and two others on his team as well. 3-1 now reads the slash line at 10.5 minutes into the game. Little less action than we're used to seeing here at the AVGL.
Yeah, I think both teams are just. I feel like you have to play it out. If you're not used to playing against another team, there's two ways to do it. Is you just go in and see how far they're going to let you push, or you play it really slow so you don't want to make any mistakes. Because if you give up too many early kills, oh, they just did the Gold Fury.
Yeah, snuck Gold Fury by Wisconsin. Only one ward covered up on that top side. They knew it was happening, but nobody was able to make the rotation over to it. D Trump just a little bit too late on it. He will get the Oracle Harpies to kind of help himself out just a little bit, but it's going to push the gold in favor. 2,200 now for University of Wisconsin.
Yeah, that was a good play by Wisconsin. I didn't know it was happening, and neither did the University of Illinois, apparently. They had no reaction to it, no rotation for it. D-Trump does need to be a little careful here. D-Port's on his backside.
Gonna get the knockup, but that beautiful, beautiful dash from D Trump's gonna make sure that no aggression will happen through. Sir Hamilton used that ultimate, but didn't account for the ability to just, fly away.
Yeah, I think that people forget about that. The Ganesha knockup there isn't the most obvious of knockups. You think of it as a CC, but you don't really think of it as a knockup per se. Obviously, D Trump is just going to dash away out of that every single time if he's allowed.
Ooh, and Affiliate takes a bit of poke, but D-Port not going to connect on that remove obstacle, so Affiliate will just be able to use Sentinel, get back to the safety of his team. But Genios was in the area, made sure if he needed to throw down that shield. But for the time being, Illinois just going to go back and farm up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they are still the late game team comp, so it makes sense to try and get as much of this farm as you possibly can. Uh, both teams are good in the late. I think maybe both teams think that, Hippopotamus has to be really careful.
Not going to have any way to get away from I'm a Monster. And Affiliate takes down Hippopotamus. One clean shot. And now it might be D-Port who will fall as well. Already taken down to half. Forced down the Dharmic Pillars. Salfam going to turn his eyes to Limon, who charged up forward. No sprint left for the Geb. Going to move forward. Eagles rally onto the team. Constipated just being the wrecking havoc they need. D-Port goes down to the power of Salfam. And now Havoc trying to do some damage to the team, but needs to be careful. There's 5 members around him.
Yeah, I think he wanted to go on D-Trump there, but he really can't. Oh, now he's going to look to aggress. He popped that weakening curse. Oh, they bring down one. They're going to take... Oh, that was a bad one.
Might not be the best trade for him. Shot comes down for the Wild Hunt. Sir Hamilton's going to get 1. Make that 2, 3. Triple kill for Sir Hamilton. Wants to make it 4 as an Affiliate stuck under the tower. Unable to get those shots, though. Beautiful body blocking from the tower. And Havoc himself might actually fall. No, not quite. Tower, not quite enough damage to take him down. The Affiliate will walk away with his life.
They really turned that around. I thought that was going to be a really bad fight for Wisconsin there. I thought that was a bad engage to go back onto. I didn't think they had the damage. I didn't think they had the ability to go back in. But Sir Hamilton absolutely hit almost every auto at the start of that fight. He got body blocked by the tower at the end. That's why they couldn't bring down the Scylla. That's not really his fault. But every auto at the beginning of that fight is going to get him the triple kill. It's going to get them that tier 1, and it's going to get them a good chance at this Portal Demon.
They got that one quick pick with the I'm a Monster, but really that was it. Portal Demon still being aggro, not enough to take it down. Wisconsin will secure it for themselves, and now it's the team of Illinois on the retreat. No one wants to stick around, try and fight out the team of Wisconsin. Now up a good 3,000 gold and almost 3,000 experience as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and they're they're doing a great job of pushing that lead now. I wasn't sure that that was the right fight to take. It apparently was. They got that gold fury. They got a couple towers now. Um, they're really pushing their lead in increments. They're slowly pushing. They've got the portal demon. They got the gold fury. Um, they took that big fight. They're doing the right things here. They're in the right positions to really run away with this game. We need to see if Illinois can slow them down, find a way to, stop the bleeding almost.
They're going back on to Hippopotamus again. Mystic Rush over the top. Not going to be able to put that portal on the wall. Hippopotamus taken down quick. And the I'm a Monster from the Philiad, questionably thrown out very early. Just going to use it to get back to safety. A quick one more pick for the side of Illinois.
Yeah, I think that was just a panic. I'm a monster of to make sure that you're fine. Havoc's in a bit of trouble. No, he's going to ult away and he's fine. I think it was just a panic. I'm a monster of, hey, I really don't want to die here. It would be really bad for my team. Let's just use it and get out. It's not the end of the world. Havoc does have to be a little careful. He is getting chunked a lot. His ultimate is already burned. Limon's the same way.
Yeah, I think Limon need to be a little careful. Charged into 4 members from the backside, but he'll get out of danger for now. Left-hand side, Sir Hamilton and D-Trump battling it out. Hamilton and D-Trump both pretty even in the exchange, but it was the Wild Hunt forced out, so that's an ultimate down. Back into the mid lane, 2-man Cataclysm onto Havoc and D-Port. Shell forced out as well. Limon throws out the Divine Judgment, but the entire team of Illinois throwing out that sprint, getting themselves out of danger.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the benefit of the sprint. I think that the Bologna and the Geb both pop sprint at the same time there.
D-Trump.
He in a bad spot. Limon's coming behind this tower. He's in no man's land.
No. He almost got out of that one, but slice and dice. Gonna be enough to connect.
So close. He had to run away from the Giannis. I think he thought he could outrun the Giannis, and he could, but then Limon was on that backside there, and he tried to ult away. It was just a bad spot for him. That was a good rotation by the University of Wisconsin.
Sir Hamilton making his name in this lane. Hasn't really been losing out any matchups against D-Trump so far. They've all just kind of been going even, but keeping a Jingwei even is not what you want on D-Trump. You want them to get ahead because of that passive for Jingwei. Really get back in. Dharma Killer's drop from D-Port, as well as the root coming out from Sir Hamilton. Not enough to take down Genios, but Ad's Constipated caught out, forced the Eagles rally over the wall just to get away from the damage, but it's now 5 strong of Wisconsin charging forward. Mystic Rush onto all 5 from Southam, but Genios not going to get away from the shotgun blast from Hippopotamus. Havoc takes down Southam. All 5 members getting pretty low on Wisconsin. I'm a monster use, waiting for the proper target for it, but Limon gonna drop to the damage of the tower. D-Trump gets 1. Hamilton charges forward, but he's got to be careful. Has the support from his team, but Nephiliad forced to go back to base.
Yeah, just a very... Hippopotamus almost died there. He's 1 HP running away. That was a very, very messy fight. A lot happened. D-Port's in a bit of trouble here. D-Trump could definitely chase him down. He's probably going to lose his life unless someone can peel. Yeah.
Nah, no way to get away from the agility from D-Trump. Got the knockup onto him and then used it himself just to get the extra dash. Get that extra attack speed on it as well from it. Doesn't need it to take down with 1 more auto, but it opens up the door for a Gold Fury. No one from Wisconsin's here. Hippopotamus does have the ult. That's what they need to be careful for. Don't know if they've smelled it out just yet. Hippopotamus waiting to use it. I don't think they even know this is happening.
I don't think they have, yeah.
Well,
I don't think they have any clue. Yeah, the sound effect will give it away. I don't think they had any idea. Hippopotamus in that last fight could have ulted to get D-Port out, I believe. I believe he did have it up. I think he was so focused on himself and getting out because he was on, 1 HP there. I think he could have used that ultimate. A little bit more awareness might have saved D-Port's life. It's not the end of the world, but it's definitely one of the things that you want to keep aware of as Giannis is when can you ult and help your teammates out?
And I think that comes down to the lack of playtime with each other on these teams. These are a lot of fairly newly formed teams together. Well, that mid lane, Nephiliad forced out from his beads against Limon, throws out the crush. But Andy, I'm a monster. Actually, Divine Judgment forced through, but one more slice and dice. Nephiliad's going to fall. Southam may turn the fight back, but a beautiful shield from Limon's going to keep him alive. 1 more shell. Southam wants it, but he's not going to be able to close that gap thanks to the horrific emblem.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great peel by both Hippopotamus and Havoc. Limon went hard for that, and he almost gave his life. He played that perfectly. He had the shield out. He had the shells out on him. He was, doing all the right things. That's the only reason that he survived. A misplay of even the smallest proportion would have gotten him killed, but he played that absolutely perfectly, gets the kill on Affiliate, and ends up not dying, which is probably a bigger win than the kill is.
Now the team of Wisconsin for this left side tower. Going to drop it very quick with Sir Hamilton there. Has 4 items up online. The Ichabal, an item that we really haven't seen too much of as of recent. What's up with this Ichabal? Actually, before we talk about the Ichabal pick, Constipated, Sundial by the Tiger Swarm, forced to jump out. Hippopotamus going for the shot, not going to connect with it. iHavoc wants it left-hand side, though. Southfam will pick up D-Port in a little bit too deep. iHavoc jumps down off the cloud, Cudgel onto the Geb, but it's not going to be enough. Sir Hamilton can't find the autos, but Limon will find Genius.
Yeah, Genius, I think, just sort of went the other way to try and get him off his own team, gave his own life up there to going into the tier 2 instead of going towards the Phoenix. Draws the aggro of that team away from his team. That's really smart support play. He was dead no matter what he did. The Ichabal, I don't know. The Ichabal, you want to be able to box in lane, but you're 20 minutes in. It's the boxing stage is over. You're team fighting now.
Yeah,
the Ichabal just doesn't give the stats that you need to be in a team fight.
No, Ichabal used to just be that item that everybody picked up. Now it's more of that bridge item, but picking it up as 4th seems like it's a little too late into the game for that item. I would imagine this is the stage where you pick up your big pen item, your Titan's Bane or your Brawler's Beat Stick, whatever big pen item that you want, and then start working towards crit.
I mean, I guess if he wanted kin, or if he wanted attack speed, he could have gone kins, but if he wanted attack speed, he could have gone Odysseus Bow, I think would have been even a better choice than the Ichabal. But maybe he knows something I don't. I'll totally be open to that possibility. I just don't think the stats are gold efficient as other items are. Maybe he wants to box more. I don't know. I don't know how he's going to. The laning phase is pretty over.
iHavoc forced into that somersault cloud. 5 members of Illinois looking at the Portal Demon, but none of them want to start it up just yet. Now the rest of the team of Wisconsin rotating over. Here, throw a few attacks into it. Good knockup from D-Trump. Will hit a couple of members, but Portal Demon's just there, just to kind of be the referee for this fight more than anything else. You kind of see him watching who's going to start it up, who's going to go.
Yeah, and all the ultimates are available except for iHavoc's. So if this fight goes in, this will be a big fight. There's going to be a lot of explosions. Sir Hamilton's leaving to go farm. They do have to be careful not to engage while he's over there.
You can see they're wanting to get a pincer maneuver onto somebody, but now they're just leaving iHavoc out on his own. Team of Illinois recognize this as iHavoc's trying to walk back towards his team. 2 members fighting him out, but Oxform will be enough to get iHavoc out for now. Sikkim going to be thrown out from the Philia. Not going to land. I'm a Monster comes out with the Dark Pillars, but not going to land onto anybody. Team of Illinois now forced back as 3 of their members sitting under a quarter HP. Through space and time, not going to connect into the back. Constipated will pick up Hippopotamus, and D-Trump gets Sir Hamilton. iHavoc just barely getting that cloud back online. Will get to safety, but it's just the tanks and Limon left. Not going to be enough to take on the range damage that comes from the Philiad and D-Trump.
Yeah, and that was truly just the diving power of the Ravana and the Bologna. So tanky, so much damage. They both dove onto Hippopotamus, burned all of his relics. Ravana did that, and then the next thing Bologna dove in there. Selfam and Constipated both were absolutely all over the carries of the University of Wisconsin, and they're going to get the Portal Demon for their troubles, it looks like. That was a close one.
Limon thought he could get that a little slow onto the slice and dice, so Portal Demon will go the way of University of Illinois. And important to note, they didn't drop anybody in that fight either. That was a clean kill. That was a clean 2 for 0. They got a little bit low, but great teamwork from them. Kept the teammates alive. Now, the unfortunate I'm a Monster, that was probably what could have been the key victory for them. Yeah. But still, ended up coming out on top of it.
Yeah, and they got the Gold Fury over there now. That's going to help them as well. Portal Demon's obviously down. They can look to set up for a Fire Giant, maybe. Although, at this point, that team is going to be, like the Wisconsin team is going to be complete live. It is just going to be a lot of gold. They have a lot of gold in hand. Bologna's on 2,000. Jingwei's on 2,000. They can go back. They can buy items. It's really going to help them in a power spike. It's really going to make their team fight even better. It's going to be interesting to see now what University of Wisconsin does. Kernanos has been doing a lot of damage. He's definitely the top damage in this game, but he hasn't been getting over the hump. He hasn't been getting the kills. Like, he has, but the rest of his team really hasn't. They have to figure out a way to bring down these big tanky warriors on the other side.
And on the flip side, D-Trump, with this first crit item online, instead of the extra attack speed, he's just going to let it get it naturally from the passive of that item. Get shield thrown out because of the portal. Get D-Trump taking too much damage. Crush thrown out. Not going to connect onto anyone. Havoc jumps in aggressively with the stance, but he's already forced into the cloud. D-Trump too low. Aegis into the back. Not enough to get away for the time being. He will. Havoc going to get hit by the crush. Forces him to run away back into the middle of the fray, though. Limon on top of Constipated, who's forced to just run out. Now Ginny is staring down 4 members of Wisconsin. Knocked up, a beautiful crush from Affiliate. Does a lot of damage back to Wisconsin. Wild hunt over the top. 3 members forces out the beads from Affiliate. Nobody has dropped just yet. Even Salfam just going to get away. Sir Hamilton wants it, but Sir Hamilton's going to fall to Constipated.
This Illinois team is absolutely so lucky. They're having so many people leave with 1 health. Limon's now going to fall. Constipated's going to run absolute damage. Hippopotamus has to be careful. D-Trump's going to chase him. Oh, he's going to get out with that portal. You know, Havoc almost barely took out that Jing Wei, but she just got out. Now she's back, and she's doing a lot of work this second fight around.
2 for 3 in favor of University of Illinois. Constipated, Affiliate, and D-Trump all able to make it out in time with their lives. Constipated got very low in that last fight, but never ended up dropping. And Havoc, kind of a sloppy initiation from him, just kind of walked up, had the Dharmic Pillars drop from Deport, but they didn't really catch anybody inside of it.
Yeah, I think it did split up the fight, though, is the one benefit of it. The tanks, especially the Geb, were forced into the front line, whereas Jing Wei and the Scylla were in the back line, and Havoc jumped in by himself. Limon wasn't there. If Limon had been there, it would have been a kill. They would have gotten both the carries down and probably would have won that fight. But Havoc just barely could not get the damage off to kill D-Trump. He barely got out, had to use his Aegis to get out of there. That's the only reason that he lived. If Havoc had been a level up or had just had, a little bit more damage somewhere, he would have definitely gotten the kill. It's a real shame that he didn't, because that fight could have gone very heavily towards the University of Wisconsin if he had.
Looking at the graphs, very close game at 27 minutes. Only 2,000 gold separates the 2 teams. 1,700. Dharmic Pillars dropped down, but only Ginny is caught inside. 3-man Cataclysm and a beautiful crush from Affiliate. Pumps out a little too much damage onto Havoc. He's going to force it back up into that cloud. Hippopotamus throwing out the shotgun blast from the Unstable Vortex. Only going to find Affiliate, but Constipated getting aggressive. Will drop that T1 tower. Eagles rally, doesn't catch out anybody. And a Bramble Blast from Sir Hamilton will force Illinois on the retreat.
Yeah, Illinois' strategy here is pretty evident. They're trying to strip the protections with the Ganesha ult and with the Nemesis ult. I'm for that. I'm liking it, but they're just not doing it enough. They're not getting into the backline, I think. Havoc is. Havoc's in the backline all the time. They're starting Fire Giant here. This is interesting. They're all scattered. Illinois is scattered. They could absolutely get this Fire Giant.
Very risky. It's already down to half HP. Unstable Vortex is going to do a little bit, but nobody's really zoning out into Affiliate, who has the biggest potential to steal. I'm a Monster will be enough to get it as they steal it away from Wisconsin under their nose. Hamilton falls to the power of South Fam. D-Trump forced to fly it back away. Havoc barely going to get into that bird form.
Beautiful peel by Deport. Beautiful peel.
They lose 1, but Affiliate, not zoned, gets the free I'm a Monster steal.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like, that's the guy that you need to be zoning more importantly than anyone else, because he has that huge damaging ultimate. I'm not sure where the peel was for him or the zone was for him. He just walked in there, used the I'm a Monster, and then walked out. No one even looked at him.
It looks like that Havoc wanted to zone Salfam as opposed to anybody. He does have that Mystic Rush, but mid lane, gets forced up the Ohm from support. D-Trump going to take about half his HP, but does have that Fire Giant to regen. Crits coming through onto Havoc, doing quite a bit of damage, but Illinois just going to back off. Portal Demon is up, and I think that's what they want to go. Get the easier 500 gold as opposed to the risky 1,500.
Yeah, they're going to pick up the portal. Then, they can go for gold after that. They can go for the towers after that. Like, it's all about building this lead up a little bit more. Scylla's not level 20 to Ravana's not level 20 yet. Geb's a long, long way off. taking as much as you can, getting your guys there, getting another. Jingwei has another crit item to go. The more gold that you can amass, the more XP that you can amass, the easier these fights are going to be. And I'm a big fan of easy smite. If you can do easy things, they're going to trade out the gold fury for the tier 2. Not a bad play. You have to give up the tier 2 anyway. You're not going to try and defend that. You're going to have to defend the Phoenix. So at least they get something out of that. They get some amount of gold.
Havoc go into that somersault cloud one more time. South Fam in rotation over onto him. Used to summon Mystic Rush at the same time, but Havoc will get out of danger. Another tier 2 tower will fall to the power of Illinois. Only towers left are these left side dual lanes. Tier 1 at about half. Tier 2 is where the fight's going to be. I don't expect Wisconsin to really hard defend on this Tier 1.
I didn't expect them to defend it at all. Limon's not even there. Maybe the minions see how many shots they can take. It's not a great time to defend. You don't really want to defend the Tier 1. Defending Tier 2 even's a little risky. It's not necessary. Defending Phoenixes is really your best shot.
Tier 1 will fall. Bramble Blast onto South Fam's going to be good, but that's just going to allow them to run forward in. Sir Hamilton's already low, but Limon's going to claim the first kill of the fight. D-Trump falls. That's their big range damage dealer taken off. Dharmic Pillars from D-Port. Havoc stuns out Constipated, but that's not the one you want. While Hunt's going to transform 2 into the little piggies to run away. D-Port stunned out. Limon gonna force out an Affiliates. I'm a monster. He's just trying to get away, but this Nemesis is so fast.
Yeah, he's gonna get out. I think Affiliates out now. They're gonna absolutely pick up everyone else to do it, though. Affiliate, though, doing a lot of damage. We thought he was out of that fight because he was running away so hard, but he just turned around and threw in a crush and made everyone think twice about really engaging hard. I don't like fighting the way that they fought there. I don't like fighting outside of a tower into a fire giant, but it worked. So we can't knock them that hard for it. They made something that I thought was and probably was work. They can clearly team fight. They can clearly make these engagements, but they have to be very, very careful because they're giving up so much with the other team and still having 4 fire giants.
With that, the fire giant will be falling off them in about another 5 or so seconds, and then they'll have to wait an extra minute before it comes back online. So they take down 2 tier 2 towers and a tier 1 over on left-hand side. Not quite what they wanted from all of it, but they were able to get their gold lead up to about 6,000 for the time being. But I think that jungle is probably the best place for University of Wisconsin to fight. They have a lot of big area denial, a lot of big AoE ultimates and abilities, and keeping them trapped in a small little area is their best shot to get some quick damage out.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with, the Ganesha pillars is clearly an area thing. And on top of that, the Kernanos into the wild thing. They have a lot of close things. iHavoc needs to be careful. iHavoc has been, in trouble a lot this game. He's 2 levels down. He's not level 20 yet. He really needs to get that farm. He has never died, but he's definitely come close a lot. He's been less efficient than he needs to be. He needs to get those 2 levels up to hit level 20 to be a little more tanky, I think.
Fire Giant spawning up here in just a second in Illinois. That's the target they have their eyes set on. iHavoc does have that ultimate force out of it very early on. That's huge for the side of Illinois. It means that they're going to be able to burn down iHavoc without having to worry about him getting away. So Hamilton going to be knocked up and hit by the crush as well. Already put down to half HP. iHavoc charging into the middle of 4 members. We'll get that Ox form to get him back to his team, but iHavoc's been playing just a little too aggressive this game.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant is, burning that ultimate in nowhere he's done a few times. They're on this fire giant, though. I'm not sure if this is a commit to it or a bait. It looks like they're committing.
They're committing. Hippopotamus firing up that shot, but it's way too late. Fire Giant's gonna fall to Illinois. iHavoc gonna use that Oxform to run away, and that just means Illinois is gonna turn on the rest of the team. Unstable Vortex not connecting on to anyone. iHavoc trying to make his way in from the back line. Darwin Pillar's gonna be good in the zone for the time being. But Constipated doesn't care. He jumps through with that Eagles rally, forced them out because of the thorns. Now Wisconsin on the back foot, having to run back to their Phoenix.
Yeah, and it's good that they got that. They got Limon's ultimate there, which is pretty big. It's going to allow this siege to go down even easier. This is bad news for Wisconsin. Wisconsin has to, sort of go back, heal, lock out. It looks like they're going to take this tier 2, and then they're going to look to push into the Phoenixes, I believe.
don't believe that Wisconsin will move in on this one. They got a little bit off that tier 1 fight, able to get a quick pick onto there, but they're going to let this tier 2 go. 5 members strong of Illinois now ready to push forward. Only 2 ultimates online for Wisconsin. Havoc, this is really just only kind of a himself one. Hamilton, the only big ultimate for him with that wild hunt, needs to get a few good targets off it for it to be effective this fight.
Yeah, it's, you know, that's going to have to come up big in this fight if they look to win it. It's going to be tough here. Havoc needs to get into that backline and do some real work. He has been doing it when he has his ultimate up, but he hasn't really had his ultimate up a whole lot.
Gonna throw down those Dharmic Pillars, and Jenny is already gone. Sir Hamilton with the wild hunt's gonna take him down. And now Illinois, the one forced to run away through space and time, just clips D-Trump. It's not enough to take him out. Good sick him from Nafiliad's gonna hold him in place for the time. Havoc still charging forward, still pumping out that damage onto Nafiliad. He's trying to get away, but I don't know if he can. I'm a Monster not gonna be able to connect. Limon picks him up, and the fight has turned entirely in favor of Wisconsin.
Yeah, Limon got the Scylla there with the shield damage, I believe. I believe Scylla sort of killed herself by using that. It's the best call. She was going down anyway, might as well try and do some damage. It's absolutely turned. Wisconsin now on the flip side. You know, top damage in the game right now is the Kernanos and the Giannis. They are absolutely both over 30,000 damage. They are doing work in these fights, and that is allowing them to win. You know, they did take the Fire Giant off of 2. However, D-Trump did get out of it alive, and he did get out of it with the Fire Giant. They are going to pick up this Gold Fury. I would assume it's going to be mostly uncontested.
Trying to get in, but it won't be enough. Wisconsin's going to pick it up. Limon takes about half his HP, trying to zone out the 2 warriors, but will be able to get out for the time being. And now Wisconsin, they were down 7,000, almost 8,000 gold. Now brought that lead down to only 3,000 for Illinois. Fight over near the Portal Demon as it will be dropped, but D-Trump forced to use his agility to get away. D-Port throws up 1 into the air, already thrown out the Dharmic Pillars. That's just going to be enough to get the rest of his team out as Nafiliad just very dangerously comes through that portal, but the rest of Wisconsin just got to back off.
Yeah, that was the right play there, I think. You know, they got a lot of stuff there. They got a lot. They got the kills. They got the towers. They got the Gold Fury. Okay, go back to base now. It's time to back, time to buy, time to see what we can do and set up. They're defending very well, and it is very hard for Illinois to engage onto these Phoenixes. They're doing the right plays here. They're absolutely setting up properly. They're defending properly. It's just a matter of, can they do it again? Or is Illinois going to realize what they're doing and get this wipe? Because if Illinois can wipe them here, it's game over.
Last fight, Genios was the first one taken out from Illinois. They committed 2 big ultimates to take down their tank. And I think that's ultimately what won them the fight, was they didn't have that peel. And the Cataclysm was only used on 1 target in the last fight. And Havoc, he just kind of brushed it off, didn't care, and moved forward.
Yeah, D-Port and Hippopotamus don't have... Oh, D-Port's ultimate just came up here, so the Fire Giant's down. This is a bad fight for Illinois to take at this point. They don't have Fire Giant up. All the ultimates are up on the other side. This isn't the best time to be pushing a Phoenix. If you can't push it with Fire Giant, it's probably not a great idea to push it without Fire Giant.
Limon was waiting in the wings for someone to step into the jungle, but no one gonna fall for the bait on that. All 5 members of Illinois just gonna go back towards the tier 1 of mid lane that, well, no longer exists. Wisconsin just gonna push forward into their own jungle. Fire Giant set to spawn in about 30 seconds or so. I think this next one could very well be the last.
Yeah, Illinois has been having absolutely fantastic Fire Giant secure. They've been all over it. They've been really putting that, but then they can't siege. They're having trouble with their siege. They need that Fire Giant in order to siege. You know, it's going to give them extra damage to the towers, extra damage, extra healing. You know, but they do need to get it. This is their bread and butter. They're very good at getting this Fire Giant. It looks like they're going to get it again. Wisconsin's not contesting.
No, I think it comes down to the relics choice, too. They don't have the siege relics. They have 1 shell. Hold that. Through space and time thrown out. Fire Giant down to about quarter HP. They're trying to burn it through. Illinois will secure it one more time for themselves. D-Trump already at half HP. Wild Hunt hits 2. D-Port silencing out Salfam, but poor little Nafiliad thrown up into the air. Gonna be able to get out for the time, but now Genius is caught near the team. Gonna use that rollout, get away. No one from the team's drop as of yet, but the chase still continues. Sir Hamilton wants it, roots out Genius. Hippopotamus not going to connect with them. Sail Vortex and Sir Hamilton very low. That's going to be the retreat from Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's actually bad news for Wisconsin. They needed to get somebody there. This is going to be so hard to defend against 5 members, all with Fire Giant. They're going to have to back and really defend. They have to get some wards out, make sure that they can see them coming. We're going back to the Siege game. You know, Illinois has been proving that they can win the Fire Giant game. But the Siege game has been very much in favor of Wisconsin here. So let's see how they handle it this time. You know, they do have to... the problem is that if Illinois wins the Siege game, they win the game. If they can get the Phoenixes down, if they can get some kills, they will win the game. Wisconsin, on the other hand here, really has to get a 5-man wipe in order to have any shot at marching down the field and getting that victory. So it's a lot riskier for Wisconsin to keep playing this way.
Well, with that Fire Giant around the belts of Illinois, they're looking one more time at this mid lane Phoenix. No big relics up online yet. Horrific emblems and shells all still down for Wisconsin. The sprint, shell, and emblem down for Illinois. This is just going to be a battle of the ultimates, but Hamilton takes half his health from that crush.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that crush does so much damage at this point in the game. Like I was saying, Scylla's such a late game god. It's actually surprising to me Scylla only has 1 kill. She's top damage in the game. Oh, Bologna equals rally.
Top 2 members. I'm a monster over the top. Sir Hamilton drops to the power of Nephilia. Crush in the back. D4 2 low to continue forward. And the Mystic Crush from South Fam will be enough. Give him the double as Hippopotamus walks into his own death. Phoenix falls in the mid lane, and all 5 members of Illinois pushing forward. Limon, the only one with Havoc to defend. No ultimates online, and no life online for Limon. Just barely gets to that fountain as well as Havoc. But that's not the same story for the Titan.
Absolutely wonderful. I was saying Nephiliad had only 1 kill, picked up the big I'm a monster onto Sir Hamilton, also picked up an I'm a monster onto someone else, didn't get the kill, but did a lot of damage, stayed alive, ended with that 40,000 damage on that Scylla. Absolutely phenomenal game for him, even if his stat line doesn't look like he did that much.
I mean, just welcome to the power of the late game Scylla. That crush, you saw it earlier, half of Hamilton's HP. And that's the squish. There's no defense online on either of these hunters to kind of mitigate some of that damage out. And Nephiliad, once you hit that late stage of the game, it's just so hard to get away from her power.
Yeah, oh, she was absolutely crushing in that late game. Top damage, you know, did a lot. 2, 3, and 10 doesn't look like it's the most impressive stat line. You're not saying this is the person that did everything. But, you know, 40,000 damage will tell you that they very much were doing everything.
And with that, we're going to cut it to a quick commercial break as we get set up for our next game. University of Illinois up 1-0 on Wisconsin. Need to come back to bring it to a game 3, or is Illinois going to take the clean 2-0 sweep? We'll be back in just a few minutes to find out. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to game number 2 of this best of 3 matchup. University of Wisconsin fell last game to the power of Illinois. See if they can bring it back and take us to game 3, or it's going to be the clean 2-0 sweep. My name is J-Mac Tucker, and once again, joining me for this evening, Emu on the mic.
Hey, how's it going? The first game was very close. Both teams could have won it at different points. I think that going back into this banning phase, we're going to see if they still want to stick with these same meta bans or if they feel like there was something on the other team that they saw that they didn't know how to deal with and they want to get rid of it here.
So the Scotty ban, we didn't see Scotty picked or banned at all last game. I think that's something that we kind of overlooked and honestly kind of shocks me a bit with how powerful Scotty is right now.
Yeah, it might have been an oversight, to be completely honest. You might have just forgot about it. The Scylla ban makes sense there to get rid of that if you felt like an affiliate had a great game on it, which he very much did. Scotty's very powerful, but she did. Maybe they didn't think about it. Maybe they didn't want to play her. Maybe I don't know.
I'm not sure exactly with her just left alone like that. I mean, it was the Jingwei and Kurnos both pretty early. It's not like they made it to second round and then, oh, hey, Scotty's still open. Ban Scotty, make sure no one picks her up. But
Yeah.
oversight or not, rest of the bans, Kakolin and RTO, along with that Scylla Scotty. Robin, the first pick for the side of Illinois. It's going to be responded one more time with the Ganesh on the side of Wisconsin, but this time picking up a very early Knox.
Yeah, the Ganesh pick for Deport makes a lot of sense. He played really well in it the last game. That was definitely not the problem. It makes sense to pick it up again. The Nox is a little interesting, though. You don't see that a whole lot. Maybe there's going to be a comp built around it. Geb and Ho Yi on the left side there for Illinois. Same thing. Genis had a great Geb game. Might as well put him back on Geb. He was doing things with it. Kernanos on that side again. Sir Hamilton, he played well on it. Might as well go back to it. He's comfortable with it. Sometimes being comfortable is more important than anything else.
He just needs to remember not to fall into that trap of, well, I was, level 20 swinging for 400 plus autos. Now you're back to level 1. You're only going to be hitting that, 60 power autos. So don't forget that you are starting back over. Counterban phase begins, and Morgan, once again, taken away from this match. Nobody wants to deal with the transformation goddess.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not fun to deal with. Definitely not good. And both teams sort of had a slower style. Both teams both started the last game very slowly. Morgan's a god that comes online later on, so they kind of want to get rid of those mids that you can wait out, leaving open. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Kronos here. Kronos again with this late game meta, and with both of these teams playing very slowly, Kronos could be very good.
I think that a Cronus would fit well onto more so now the side of Illinois. I don't think that we're going to be seeing it coming out from Wisconsin this time around with both, assuming this is
Yeah,
both their mid and their hunter picked up. Banning
yeah.
still continues through. Bologna taken off the table. No one wants to deal with her. And Nemesis taken away as well as a Wheelish. I respect the Wheelish one.
The Nemesis one also makes sense. Nemesis was doing a lot more work in that game than I think we give her credit for. Stripping away the protections, allowing everyone else to hit so hard, is an underrated thing. It doesn't show up on the stats of protections stripped away. And the combination of the Nemesis and the Ganesha, where the Ganesha's ultimate reduces protections as well as the Nemesis's ultimate, it does make your tanks completely squishy and allows them to die very, very quickly.
And taking away the Nemesis can also allow for them to go for these a little bit more immobile pickups if they wanted to go for a
Yep.
sustain option with the Raw, play something like a Vulcan. Nemesis makes it to where you can't pick somebody who can't run away.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think it was actually going to get picked up. I think that I would assume that this Nox is going to get paired with something like a Thor or maybe even a Ratatosker. Something that can allow that Nox the mobility with the using her dash. Her dash is very interesting. She goes inside of a god. If it's a Thor or a Ratatosker where they go up into the air and come down on another lane, she comes with them. So instead of one person showing up, it's two. It's a very, very useful skill, but you have to partner it with something that can use it and abuse that. And right now, they don't really have much.
It's like a miniature dropship where instead of taking your whole team with the Giannis ult, you kind of just
Yep.
find a little buddy and hop in with them.
Yep.
Osiris and Vulcan, the last two picks for Illinois. And on the side of Wisconsin, they're going to grab the Hoon bots to round out their draft. The double Monkey Brothers in that duo and jungle. This could be a very long game again, based off how these two teams played last time.
The Hood and Bat's ultimate is very, very valuable. I think that people forget about it. We're so used to seeing these big junglers like Ravana and Wukong also played a lot in the jungle that are very tanky and very forward. Hunbats isn't that way. He's not very tanky, but his ultimate and the giant, uh, area of fear is so
Hmm.
valuable. If you can't jump out of it, someone like Vulcan is going to have a very difficult time if he walks in and fears him. Osiris is going to have the same problem. The only problem is on this Illinois side, you do have the Geb, and Geb can shield, which will reduce some of the damage and will release that fear.
Right. It's kind of the Athena complex with it, where when you pick an Athena into a Geb, you have to make sure to get the Geb with it. If this Hoonbot wants to pick anybody up, wants to make the Fear No Evil effective, he's got to hit Genios with it as well. Otherwise, Nephiliad's going to get a shield, Salfam can get the shield. And if Salfam plays correctly, he does have that overhead kick and can get out of most of it unless he's hit down in the center of that ult.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Illinois in the last game was very grouped up. They had a very tight knit composition. They stood very close to each other, and they, took care of each other very well. This game, they aren't going to be able to do that. Hunbats and Nox are both area players, and this is going to be. They do have a combination of Hunbats and Ganesha. Ganesha puts down the Dharmic pillars. Hunbats ults in the center. You're getting pushed through those pillars. It's very annoying to deal with.
I didn't even think of that. That is the only thing more annoying is if you can throw an Odin ring over the Dharmic pillars. One cage inside of another cage, and now you can't get out of either cage.
And I think you're going to see the Nox ult on top of it as well, and maybe even the Kerninos ultimate. They have a lot. There's a lot of area, and that area there is going to be completely inaccessible, and anyone that is in it will die. The problem is that it's a lot of stuff to blow on one. If you miss the players, they can come back at you.
Right, and I mean, the thing from the Nox that a lot of people forget is that action, and not a damage for your team. It's literally you guys are going to deal less damage no matter what. It's not just like, oh man, I took a little bit less. It's outright, flat out, you're doing 50% less damage to us, and that's huge. Team that's drafted means the Suns are going to do less damage. Vulcan ultimates are going to hit a lot softer, and we know just how much damage can come from a Vulcan and a Ho Yi.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the thing is there's a lot of damage on both sides. I think that the Illinois squad doesn't really have a focus. I'm not seeing a giant, I guess, Geb ult into Ho Yi ult into Vulcan ult. To me, their composition is more just, hey, these are 5 really good gods that sort of work together. Let's annihilate the other team. Whereas the Wisconsin draft, I can see in my mind where they were going. Oh, let's put Hunbats with Ganesha, and let's put Nox there as well. There's a lot more of a strategy, I think, coming out.
Yeah, it's more of a what kind of combination can we pull as opposed to, well, let's hope that one circle leads to another circle leads to another circle. But if you miss that first cataclysm, we know how inconsistent a Vulcan ult can be whether it hits or not. This is going to mean that they need to force the players to move the direction that they want. That's where the strategy of the Vulcan comes is, I'm going to throw out this ult. Either they're walking into the ult or they're walking back to us. We're going to deal the damage back.
I absolutely think that you're completely right about that. I think that this is going to be an interesting match. The last one was a very, very slow starting game. It would not surprise me if both these teams started slow again. The difference is this Illinois squad has a lot more of a pressure early game. Osiris is very, very pressureful. He's even more pressureful than Bologna is. Vulcan does need to wait until late game, but almost as much as Scylla. But D-Trump on that Ho Yi will be able to fight a lot more than he was as the Jingwei.
Well, let's see if Nephiliad can pull off his best Flippo impersonation on this Vulcan. We've seen just what some players can do if you get that early lead on Vulcan, but with the power that comes from Wisconsin, it's going to be a little bit tough as we get into the second game of matchup. Illinois, once again, they're up 1-0. Wisconsin looking to even out the sets so that way they can bring it to that third game.
Yeah, I think they have a composition, both teams do, in order to do that. There are a lot of Aegises out on this Wisconsin side. They have 3 Aegises and no beads. I guess they're not really afraid of the CC. There's not a whole lot of it, I guess. Aegis will definitely save their life from something such as a Vulcan ultimate or the Ho Yi Suns, or just Ravana jumping on you and killing you.
And you see the flip side for Illinois. They all picked up beads aside from their tankier members. They're really respecting the CC that comes out from Wisconsin. Mid lane, just going to be the jungle and the mid mixed up together once again. Seen this time and time again this season. They're going to get the advantage in the wave. Robin Vulcan does have a little bit earlier clear, but instead of going the aggressive route to try and steal speed, they're just going to be a little safer and take their own.
Yeah, it makes sense to just play it really safe. Hunbats doesn't have the best early game. You know, he's pretty good once he hits 5, but, you know, you could have looked to invade there potentially, but I think they just want to play it really safe. Don't want to do anything crazy. Might as well just get what you can get and then see how it plays out.
Solo lane, gonna go a little bit more in favor of iHavoc, I believe, early on. Osiris is that early bully, but iHavoc just has such good clear on that Wukong.
Yeah, you know, where iHavoc can fully clear the wave, Osiris has to sort of stand in it and auto-attack it for a while. Until he comes online with that, he's not going to be the best. You know, he will still do an incredible amount of damage and take almost none in return, or if he does, he will heal it right back up on that Osiris. Constipated could look to fight him very aggressive, very early on. We're going to see how much aggression he wants to output.
Right. I don't think it's going to be until about that level, 7 or so mark when Constipated's really able to box out against Havoc. Elementals looking to go the way of the side of Illinois. The 3 members of Wisconsin just opting for their buff camps instead, going the safer route for it. The Illinois, they're looking to get a little aggressive towards this blue buff. Havoc been spotted out. The root's not going to connect from Salfam. It's going to be the bird form from iHavoc, and he'll get back to safety.
Yeah, they are going to get his blue, which is very annoying as a Wukong. Wukong is pretty mana hungry, so losing that blue buff early is going to make it hard. Like we were saying, he does have the early clear advantage, but if he isn't able to use his abilities because he has no mana, he is not going to be able to have an early clear advantage.
No, it's going to be a little bit rough for him. Left-hand side. So a little surprised to see that the Ho Yi Geb is getting the advantage compared to a Ganesh Karnanos. It seems like that'd be the more powerful wave clear, but the time being, Illinois getting the upper hand.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that as well. That was a beautiful ricochet by that Ho Yi. He got Sir Hamilton twice and then hit D-port as well. You know, I have no idea why that happened. I didn't see what got them the lane advantage, but once they have lane advantage, they definitely can hold it. Geb's clear is not as bad as people make it out to be. It's not the best clear in the world by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not an auto-lose lane by any stretch.
No, another good ricochet from D-Trump on a Sir Hamilton. We're getting a few of those cheeky little shots into there. Going on the right-hand side, Nephiliad and Salfam just going to go for those back camps, get that quick farm. They are both level 5. Limon still yet to hit 5, and that's a big advantage going for Illinois. They don't want that Hunbots to get online ahead of their team.
Yeah, you really don't want to be facing that Hunbat's ultimate until as late as possible. I mean, if you could never see a Hunbat's ultimate, you'd be happy. Once he hits 5, once he starts getting cooldown online, it's going to be a machine. He's going to be ulting constantly. And he's not really favored in the meta. You don't see him getting picked up a whole lot, in favor of the tanky junglers, but he does a lot, and that ultimate is so valuable that I think a lot of people forgot about him, and now they're remembering and going, oh, this is awesome. Why are we not always using this?
I think it was that increase to the cooldown that kind of made people think otherwise. It was only 10 seconds, but naturally, as a Hunbot's jungle, you're going to pick up something like a Jotuns. You might pick up one extra CDR-based item, Gladiator Shield wouldn't be out of the question. Give him a little bit of tankiness, give him that extra 10% if you want it, but Hunbots, like you said, definitely not out of it. It can still be a very big factor for this Wisconsin team.
Yeah, I like the pick. It's a little different, but it's not super different. It's just a good pick that I think people forgot about. That happens all the time, that there's a pick that for whatever reason no one's playing it, no one remembers it exists, and then you bring it back and it works very well.
Everybody's doubting the Kuzenbo. I just want to see the Kuzenbo come out from some team. Somebody bring the Kuzenbo into the jungle. I love Kuzenbo jungle. Not as nice as Hunbot's jungle, but hey, when you got a big turtle running at you, that's a bit intimidating.
Absolutely. Trust me, on this next patch when he comes out, I'm guaranteeing you someone's going to play him. He's actually quite good now.
Oh, yeah. I've never been a big doubter of Kuzenbo. I've kind of doubted where to play him, but I think as of recently, we might see a surgence in him. He's a pretty big and beefy guy, being a natural guardian's got those protections, got that ability to deal damage and take damage. So I wouldn't be opposed to seeing him in the more recent matchups.
Absolutely, and like we're seeing out of this Illinois team, tankiness wins. They won the last game with 2 tanks, the tank solo, the tank jungle. These are helpful. Being big and beefy and still doing damage, really helpful. And they're doing it again this game. It seems like they're, I don't want to say they're slaves to the meta, man, but they're doing the meta stuff picks, and it's working because it's it exists for a reason. People run that meta for a reason, and having big tanky warriors that can also kill the enemy carries, so valuable.
That's especially evident with gods like Robin and Wukong. They're meant to jump in your back line. They're meant to harass the hell out of your mid laners and make sure that they can't get in. Speaking of, on the left-hand side, Nephiliad trying to make a rotation over, but Hamilton and Deport both spot him out, making sure that they can't get it. So, unsuccessful gank from Urbana. Limon jumps in aggressively, gets the Sacred Monkey on, teleport in. Nephiliad, the first one caught out into it. The pillars drop. Nephiliad's out for now, but not before. Limon's gonna get him with one more auto over the top, but needs to be careful. Genios getting down to half HP as well. Good slow from Salfam will be enough to get Genios out.
That was absolutely the combination there. The Hunbat's ultimate, the Ganesha ultimate, nowhere to go. He had to burn his beads. It wasn't going to be enough. There was so much damage and so much utility, so much damage coming after him, so many people flying towards him. There was nothing he could do for himself. He had the beads. It wasn't enough, unfortunately. And that's a good first blood.
And the first blood going on to Limon. That's probably one of the more potent gods to put it onto. That extra gold on early for a Hunbat means he's going to get that CDR or that crit online a little earlier.
D-Trump.
The D-Trump now has to run away. The Ohm is good to keep him out. One more autos needed. Hamilton will pick it up. Second kill for Wisconsin. Now putting one onto their carry.
He made such a good move to jump out of getting hit by that Ganesh, but then he came directly down. And once you had that, they knew you didn't have a jump, buddy. They were going to commit all of what they had.
They're going to commit onto Nephiliad. Knocked up. Overhead smash. Not going to save you from the power of Limon. Dharmic Pillar, I believe, is what got the last hit for it. But thanks to the Ganesh passive, Limon getting hit credit for the second kill for himself. Third for the team.
Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly hit. It looked like it was the pillars. It looked like when he backfired, he went into the pillar, which is just unfortunate. It happens, but it's, that's the value of that god.
I mean, that pillar can do a lot of damage if you lock someone down inside of it. I mean, we've seen what could happen if you throw down the pillar and knock somebody up or stun somebody inside of the actual line of it. Can deal out quite a bit as the later stage goes. Why we see it as a great objective shredder too. Yeah,
absolutely. I think that a lot of people forget about that because normally you only take 1 tick, maybe 2 as you're walking through it. But if you put it onto someone and they stand in it, it does a lot of damage.
Another good ricochet from D-Trump onto Sir Hamilton, but Hamilton's got that lead now 1 level up comparatively. I have it taken a bit of poke from Constipated, but they just want to get the advantage to this blue buff. They want to try and keep Havoc from getting that farm, keep him from getting online. It's a 4-man rotation to make sure that this blue buff goes over to Constipated.
And I do like what they're doing here. They're leaving Deport alone in this lane just to hold it. He's going to get a little bit of farm. Ganesha is very nice from ahead. Once he's ahead, once those pillars are out, like I mentioned, the protection shred, but also the damage on that Dharmic pillars. If he can get leveled up, if he can get a level or 2 into his ultimate, it does a lot. So it's not a bad idea to give your support some farm.
The Ganesh, but mid lane, ultimate from Nephiliad, not going to hit anybody, but it doesn't matter. Nephiliad will fall. Genius getting the credit for it. Salfam taken down by Limon and Havoc. Stunned out is Limon, but he's going to get away for the time being. And Deport pushing forward on that Ganesh from Sir Hamilton. Could mean that they could look towards this mid lane tower, but Genios and Nephiliad don't want to let this go just yet.
Genios absolutely whiffed his Geb ult to start that fight. He got the kill on a basic, but his ult was awful. And it might have cost him because it would have taken a little extra time to get those kills. That was a pretty bad one to miss.
No, really unfortunate for him, but bottom side now, just going to go back to the farm. Down 1-4 is Illinois. They got their first kill, but it went on to Genios. Not the one that you want, not the worst to get it. Like we said earlier, supports, you always kind of want them to be even, maybe even getting up and ahead. As you see, Deport is tied with the rest of his team at level 10. But Genios getting that, not the best for his team. Nephiliad or Southam really needed to get the credit for that one.
I actually disagree, for one reason, and that he's going into Hide of the Urchin. Getting that online earlier is going to make him so much tankier. And getting that extra kill gold is only going to allow him to get Hide of the Urchin faster, and this is going to allow him to be tankier and push up more. I understand the logic of wanting to get damage items online, but having a support early on that cannot die is incredibly valuable, and I would argue that it's actually more valuable than having more damage coming out of your mid laner or your jungler.
Yeah, and of all supports to get that online faster, the Geb giving him more HP, giving him more defense, it allows him to throw out those shields more often in fights, since he does stay alive a little bit longer because of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful play there by Deport. He came over, he got the beads out of D-Trump. D-Trump just, he didn't need the beads, but he didn't know that. He didn't know that there wasn't follow-up coming. He beads because he was in trouble if there was people there. The fact that there wasn't people there doesn't matter. Good play on Deport to know. And getting those beads is going to be incredibly helpful. It's going to slow down D-Trump. He can't really push as aggressively without having his beads.
Right, that's going to open the door for a possible Gold Fury, knowing that if they even bait it out and get D-Trump over, they could try and force him away from it. Sir Hamilton now at level 12. D-Trump hitting level 12 as well. Going to be able to go back and get their second relics. Gideon's taking quite a bit of poke in mid, but Southham's the aggressor. Vulcanhold over the top, only going to hit D-Port. Jumps down to about half, but Constipated caught inside the root. Fear no evil, pushes it back to the tower, and Limon's going to pick him up. Genius taken down by I, having the Nephiliad forced to run out. Southam somehow still alive through it all, but it won't be for long as the double kill from Limon connects.
Yeah, beautiful play. That was their... I don't think Limon meant to do that.
I don't think so.
I think he's going to regret that one. I'm sure he's looking at his keyboard right now saying, hey, I didn't hit that button. That wasn't me.
No, I don't think he really cares too much, as D-Trump will fall to the CC chain from Wisconsin. And I think that's something that we really need to worry about for them going into the late game. Is Illinois, sure, they've got the beads, but there's so much CC from Wisconsin that if they're down one form of CC, one root, one knock-up, one anything is going to completely eliminate them, especially with how much damage a Nox can do late.
Yeah, absolutely. You're seeing that a lot. You know, they're hitting that Hun Bat Salt into that Ganesh Salt, into the Nox, shutting down people. Wukong's coming over. It looks like they're going to do this Gold Fury.
They're looking for it, but I mean, Genius is the only one with an ult aside from Constipated. Genius can't really hit a Gold Fury. Looking for it. Hippopotamus gonna throw out that Death Ball, but it's not gonna do anything, just a little bit of damage. Gold Fury goes to Illinois.
I'm surprised Wisconsin didn't push a little harder there. I think that they definitely could have taken that fight. They had ultimates up. I mean, Sir Hamilton didn't, and iHavoc didn't, but Limon did, and Deport did. I guess they're not quite there at the moment, but I'm surprised they gave it up that freely. They should have contested a little harder.
I mean, Constipated was the only one up there zoning. The other members of the team were just back DPS in the Gold Fury. So, like you said, real strange. They just kind of let it go as freely as it did.
Yeah, like they played it the way that I would believe that they were behind, and they're not. They're ahead. Like, that was the time to look into the fight. You know, that was a good situation. Everyone's grouped up. That's what you want on your composition with the Ganesh ult and the Hun Bat ult. It's a very strange one to see them not committing harder to defending that.
And they tried. I'll give them that they tried with Hippopotamus and ult, but it was way too early. It's not enough damage this early on. I mean, that Death Ball, not quite the strongest early game. The best thing that comes from Nox's ultimate early is the damage reduction from it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, less damage is always beneficial. You always want that. Oh, I have a cast. No, he's going to ult away. That's the beauty of the Wukong. You just ult and you leave. It's not, it's pretty safe.
I mean, not only that, they got Constipated's ult from it. A little late on the trigger to try and knock out the healing from it. It's typically the try and counter shot that you go with the Osiris is he's about to ult, so I'm going to ult, make sure he can't heal. But that's a very late hit from Constipated.
Yeah, he might not have expected it or something, or he might have realized, hey, we're not going to get him anyway. I'm not my ult, and then at the last second went, well, what if we do, and threw it out. You can see that happen sometimes. Just second guessing yourself.
So, as we hit this 15-minute mark, it's 2-8. Just about everybody's getting their second relics online, aside from Genios, not quite there yet. Talk to me about this blink coming from deep port.
Well, I mean, it does allow him to get in and get his ult off in a situation where he's very far behind. They have to be very careful. Oh, Naphiliad blew that ult bad.
Big ult off the mark, but not for Sir Hamilton. Naphiliad, the first one taken out. Ohm into the back. They're really trying to keep D-Trump out of this fight. Genios forced the Cataclysm just to keep his carry alive. Havoc taking quite a bit from the tower, but it's a double kill for Limon with one overhead smash. Sacred Monkey thrown out, not going to opt to teleport in. And they're just going to turn their sights towards the tower as Genios forced to back out just because of that route.
Yeah, you can see them. They were coming in hard. They were looking to fight that. The team was sort of split up. Wisconsin was a little bit... Wisconsin was going hard on them, but Illinois was a little bit spread out. And then when they dropped the Ganesha ult down, it spread them out even further. It made that Ganesha ult really is separating these fights. Even if it's not getting people in the middle of it, it's making people walk around it. And that's very useful because it's going to buy you an extra 2 seconds of a fight. And 2 seconds in the middle of a team fight is a world of time.
It's a huge gap of time. 2 seconds in any kind of a fight, anything in Smite. Every second is crucial, and when you've got 2 seconds that you're just locked out, can't do anything, it's detrimental for your team.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is to some degree the reason for this blink. Going back to what we were saying, I don't particularly like it. I think that there were better options. But being able to blink and lay down either the ultimate or lay down the silence is one to blink in, ult down, and then silence so that someone like Hou-Yi can't jump out of it. He definitely has to burn his beads to get rid of it. There is some validity to that. I would have liked to see more of a team fight relic coming out. Be it a sprint would have been a good decision because they don't have one. And there is a horrific emblem on the other side. I'm not sure that Blink was the right call or this was the right call for that relic, but it has uses.
It does have its uses for it. You can always get that Blink, like you said, get in, and you still have your mobility in case you need to get out in a bad situation or to use it to knock them up inside. It's just that gap closer that you want on your support. Thinking of Seaport, going to knock up Southam. That's just because the Portal Demon was started up by Illinois, but not going to be fully committed onto, just kind of testing the waters with these teams.
Yeah, I think that, both teams feeling each other out. I know they just played a giant, long game, but not with these compositions. Both teams are very slow to play, which is a stylistic choice. They're playing it slow. They're going for these objectives. They're definitely doing the right things, but they're just doing them slowly. Constipated has to be careful, though. He's on the bad side here.
Does have that ult, forced to throw out the thorns and the big Vulcan ult from the top. Havoc has to go into that cloud just to heal back up. Decoy doing a little bit of work, but it's quickly taken off. Constipated down to quarter HP. 2 ults off the board for both teams. Vulcan gonna throw out the meatball backfire. Sir Hamilton taking quite a bit, but it's the Fear No Evil in the back from Limon, forcing 3 members back away. Shell pop just to keep them alive. But Havoc still looking to be aggressive. It's knocked into the Cataclysm. Not going to be enough for it. Genios instead turned on, and Limon make that a big shot from Hippopotamus with the death ball in the back.
Yeah, absolutely. He hit that, and everyone went down. There was the Kerninos ult and the Nox ult. Absolutely wonderful. Got those. Now they're going to get minions in here. They're going to get this tower. They're going to get maybe some more kills in.
Havoc will fall to South Bam. D-Trump rooted out. Aegis just waiting for that jump to come online, but it's not enough. Deicide for Wisconsin. That 16-2 slash line reads the board for him. And now with everyone still very healthy, Fire Giant is going to be their target.
Yeah, they can pick up the fire, and then they're still probably going to have enough time. They're going to pick up fire, I would assume portal, they can back, and then they still might even have enough time after all that to go and try and pick up a tier 2 on this right side.
I got a little scared there. I thought that was actually Havoc who was dropping that low. It's actually just his decoy. I don't know if you saw that too. I was like, is he going to die to the Fire Giant? I mean, I've seen it before, but...
I luckily made a note in my head that was the decoy, because I totally would have made the exact same mistake. You would have heard a very excited, oh, and then I would have gone, oh, never mind. That never happened.
Nope, it was the decoy. False alarm, everybody. Portal Demon will drop. That's going to allow Limon and Sir Hamilton to be the aggressive ones. Constipated now kind of in the middle of this star formation of 5 members. 3 of them over on the bottom side. Havoc going to chase it down, gets the Master's Will. Forces that Lord of the Afterlife over the wall as the rest of his team was just kind of chilling at speed buff.
Yeah, well, they were farming, I guess. You don't want to go over. You don't want to engage. You don't want to fight here. Constipated shouldn't have been up where he was, but these things happen. Ulted over. He was safe. He just has to be really careful that he doesn't get himself into another bad position, because he won't have the ult there to save him this time.
Havoc, the only one on Wisconsin without his ultimate, but it will be coming back up online just as I say that. Caster's Curse on ultimate timers, but... Tier 2 tower gonna be their target. They'll take it down very quickly with that Fire Giant buff and having Sir Hamilton on that Kernanos. Might look towards the Phoenix, but with all 5 members from Illinois there, they're gonna back off. Maybe look towards another tower, maybe the left, maybe the mid.
Yeah, you can definitely defend your tier 2s at this point in the game. Oh, that was a beautiful blink by Geb, but no follow-up really.
Alfam gonna jump in with the Mystic Rush. Sun's dropped down as well as the Vulcan ult, but it's only gonna hit D-Port, and it's not enough to take anyone down. Genios caught in the middle, knocked up by the Ox Form. They're forced to retreat. Havoc just pumping as much in as he can. Remove obstacles, not gonna connect from D-Port. Very awkward start of a team fight through the blink of Genios, but nobody's gonna perish.
Genios made the absolutely right play. That was the right play there. Blink in, get the Cataclysm. Great play. The problem was, no one knew he was going to do it. No one was reacting to that. You know, Ho-Yi was on the other side of the wall. He threw the ultimate over because why not? Ravana jumped in. It wasn't called in comms or something happened there. There was some miscommunication where he saw an opportunity and it was right, but the rest of his team did not, so it was wrong. And there's a big thing in Smite. You can make the right play at the wrong time, it's a wrong play. And he made the right play at the wrong time, and it didn't work out because of that.
And because of it, with all ultimates down, that opens up the Gold Fury for Wisconsin. They'll drop it very quickly, adding another 1,500 gold to their pockets, bringing their lead up to 10,500. Much more significant of a lead this game as last time. It didn't work out too well. Genios stuck out, nowhere to go. Hippopotamus gonna drop him with one good Root Silence combination.
Yeah, that's the risk of Geb. You know, you have to sort of play Geb like he doesn't have mobility, because he really doesn't against this team. They have so many things that can interrupt his dash.
Ball from Hippopotamus thrown on the Constipated, but not really gonna do too much. Sir Hamilton and the rest of his team just gonna run back away. Or actually, they're gonna move forward. I'm sorry, I was looking at Nephiliad, who had backed off from his team. 5 men from Wisconsin, 4 from that meatball Nephiliad. Calm down.
Yeah, they can absolutely look to push into this tower here. You know, they are gonna have Genios up. It's gonna be fun, but there's a lot of zoning.
Big ultimate with the Cataclysm in 4 members. Hippopotamus force back. He'll drop the Constipated. Nephiliad picks up D-Port. Havoc trying to stay alive for as long as he can, but him and Hamilton too slow, can't run away from the force. Havoc gonna just barely get that Ox Form off, but they're too low. Hamilton not making it out. Havoc, very unlikely for himself. Gets that horrific emblem, but with all these members still alive, once again, it comes down to the sieging.
Yeah, they're having trouble with it. You know, in the other game it was Illinois. This game it's Wisconsin here. That was a beautiful Geb ult. Before I even forget to mention that, absolutely fantastic 5-man Cataclysm. That not only saved Phoenix, but it won them that fight. It got them 4 kills. It's going to get them this Titan, or this tower. It might get them tier 2 of this tower. All off of 1 Geb ult. Earlier I said, right play, wrong time. They do have to be careful with this left Phoenix, though. It could go to minions.
Oh, Southham's here. The turret was there to take a little bit for him, but Southam's going to make sure it does not fall. And that's the important part. Phoenix was just barely alive. They didn't have quite enough to take it down. And this time, we knew that Cataclysm came. Nephilia had already had that ultimate fired off. That is the communication you need to win these fights.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, earlier I said right play, wrong time. That was right play, very right time. That was absolutely beautiful, and that is huge. Big thumbs up to him. His teammates need to give him a little bit of a, hey, good job, buddy, because that was absolutely awesome.
Philiad now sitting only level 16. Not quite that big, but him and Hippopotamus staying even with each other. Limon does have the lead over Southam, but Fire Giant very quickly snuck by from Wisconsin. No one from the side of Illinois able to go for that.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they didn't. This is sort of the exact same thing as last game now. You know, we're seeing the control of the objectives, but the sieging is where they're struggling. You know, it's the exact same thing as last game. It's tough. It's tough because you got to be able to siege. That's the only way you're going to be able to win this game. You got to take down Phoenixes. You got to take down the Titan. That's the only way to win.
I mean, Titan is the end-all objective of the game. Kills are nice. Towers and Phoenixes are beautiful, but until you drop that Titan, the game is never over. Especially with some of the gods that were lined up for this draft. And Nephilia, if he can get another big ult like that, it could once again keep his team alive long enough to hold out this game and maybe turn it into their favor.
Yeah, this is a tough one. You got to make sure, and the Geb has got to be there. Genios has to be looking for another Cataclysm, same way he did the last time. It was beautiful. I don't think it's going to look quite the same this time, but he has to be looking for it. They have to wait for the siege, and then they have to engage onto it. Although this time, the Phoenix is only at half health. It's not fully restored.
Once again, Blink Cataclysm, 3 members, but none of them going to perish just yet. Too many of them too low. Constipated, playing goalkeeper in the back. Those thorns doing so much. Deathball from Hippopotamus might be just enough to take him down, but the Phoenix still stands.
Sir Hamilton isn't there. He's out back life stealing. Oh!
You are a madman, Limon, and you are paying for that one. Silence drop by Hippopotamus. Phoenix still intact. Haven't been able to drop it yet.
I thought I was going to have some time there to talk about that, and then Limon went blinking in. I have no idea what he was doing. Like, maybe he thought he would surprise him. He certainly surprised me, so maybe that was his plan.
I think he was hoping that he'd get that blink auto and to get the big crit from it, but it didn't work out. He got stuck in place, missed the overhead smash, and that was the end of his life. Phoenix on the left will finally fall to Wisconsin as they still have 4 members alive. Gold Fury available as well, and I'd imagine that's where they'll turn their sights to. Get a little bit more gold, try and finish off some of these builds. A
thing I would like to mention in that last fight was Deport. When Genios blinked onto them, Deport blinked onto the other team. He blinked out of the Geb Cataclysm. And this was what saved him, and this is what allowed him to do so much work. It slowed down that Illinois team from responding to what Wisconsin had done. And it was fantastic. That is, I guess, good usage of the blink. You counter blink. Fast reflexes on his part, but absolutely did them big in that fight and was more valuable than a sprint would have been. So I guess, hey, if you're going to use blink like that, it's a good relic to have.
I mean, my favorite kind of counter blink is they blink, so you blink, then their opponent blinks to stop you, your guy blinks it. I mean, when you have a blink fest, it's a party because you're like, wait, who'd blink? Who's going there? It's all the same sound, but nobody's dying, nothing's happening.
Yeah, it looks a little bit like a Dragon Ball fight, you know? It's that's always the thing I envision in my head is watching old Dragon Ball Z and everyone's teleporting all over the place. That's kind of what that looked like, you know, the fast reflexes on Deport to get in there. And we don't think of supports as carries, because they're not, but that's a carry play. That won his team that fight in many, many ways. And that's a fantastic play on him, and give the shout-out where the shout-out is due onto that one.
Now, team of Wisconsin looking to push down this right-hand side. As the left Phoenix is down, they have to be careful inside of Illinois. Blink in from Limon to avoid the meatball. Gonna force the beads on the 1. D-Trump too low. D-Trump taken down, and Limon's gonna pick up Nephiliad in the back. 3 already off the board from Illinois.
5 strong from Wisconsin. This burst might not last too long. Cataclysm, Mystic Rush, but it's not going to be enough. Sir Hamilton one more time. Genios falls. Southam not making it out, and it's a deicide for Wisconsin, pushing down the Titan, and we're going to be taking this to a game number 3.
Absolutely, and I'm very excited for that because I've enjoyed game 1, I've enjoyed game 2, and I want to see a third game. I want to see winner take all. I want to see what these teams are going to pull out because that was absolutely fantastic.
Usually here in our lovely league, it's 6-7 matches before we really see a good best of 3, a real good slobber knocker of a fight. But these two teams, a little more even than I think any of us really anticipated. Wisconsin is 1-0 this season compared to Illinois, who's down 0-1. But these two teams both proven that they've got what it takes to take this set.
Yeah, and that game was a little bit more one-sided than the first game was, so it's going to be really interesting to see how this third game comes out, but I'm really enjoying it. It's very entertaining. There's a lot of fighting. The early game is slow, but once they get online, these fights are going absolutely bonkers.
That's the key, is these games have both started out super slow for the first 8 to 10 minutes of it, and then all it takes is one good team fighting. Everything just, all hell just breaks loose. And we're going to see if that holds true in game number 3. We're going to take a break, and then we will be right back.
this love that you never started. You once destroyed a broken heart that was already shattered. Holding on to what we have, you take us to the edge and back. Holding on to what we have, you take us to the edge and back. This love that you never started. You once destroyed a broken heart that was already shattered. Holding on to what we have, you take us to the edge and back. Holding on to what we have, you take us to the edge and back.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the exciting game number 3 here between University of Wisconsin and Illinois Urbana Champaign. My name is J. Mac Tucker, and with me yet again, he's back, Emu.
Hey, how's it going? Oh, I'm so excited. Illinois took the first one. Wisconsin takes the second one. This one, winner takes all. I'm very excited. I've enjoyed both these two games.
Look at the respect band from both teams. Both supports taken off the table. You don't get Geb. You don't get Ganesh. Let's see what else we got here.
Absolutely. Both supports have been so instrumental in this. You know, they've played the same one in both games. Let's see what game 3 brings us. Let's see how deep your God pool is. I think you're going to let other things go through because of this. Maybe Cullen's going to go. And the Scylla ban. They don't want to deal with that either.
Wow. I mean, Scylla did come up big for
And
Illinois in game number 1. And Knox taking away really a lot of respect coming out of both of these two teams. But we can see it. The audience can't. I have it. Might want to try and get for that Scotty for his team, but RTO left open and locked in. The Bear Goddess getting her debut here at the AVGL.
Yeah, you forget about these things. You know, you go, oh, respect band. I got to get rid of these respect bands. He did really well in this Ganesha. How does he do on RTO? RTO can play solo. RTO can play support, and RTO is very, very strong. So that's we'll see how this works out. I'm not sure if we'll see if the ban is worth it on the way of the Ganesha.
And Illinois looking to take the Kernanos away from Sir Hamilton. It's one thing to respect ban, but to pick something away from him is a whole nother level, because you're saying that, I did pretty good on this god, but that guy did a little too good on his, and I can't have that, as it gets locked in with the Sobek to couple with it.
The Sobek is a nice pickup here to take away a little bit of the healing from RTO. I was going to say you're leaving things like a Cullen open, which is a little dangerous. And I think that they really like double warriors. So having a Cullen, it's incredibly helpful in getting that double warrior composition. It takes care of one of your needs right away. Mm-hmm. But giving it up isn't the end of the world. They just have to make sure that they're getting the right pick here. A Willix, interesting.
Yeah, coupling it with that Sobek. We know how many knockup Sobek has in that kit. Gives Southam a lot of options, but this is going to be his first game off the Warriors. He's been running that Robin both times, so we'll see how he does on a little bit squishier of a god.
Yeah, and that can be a hard transition to go from being someone that is very tanky, can engage, can do things, can take a hit, to someone like A Willix who really can't. A Willix is quite a squishy jungler, but does a lot more damage, especially in the early game.
Well, the counter bans come through. Ho Yi taken off the table. They don't want to give Sir Hamilton that option. They don't want to give Bologna over to Constipated. He did very well with it in game number 1. That last team fight with that Eagles rally was so big for him. They just want to make sure that he doesn't have any comfort with that goddess.
And to me, this is the favorite part about playing in something like this, in a league where you're playing best of 3s. Because look at these bans. These aren't normal bans. This isn't a ranked game. They've seen the other team. They've seen what they've done. And this makes for a much more entertaining version of Smite, because you're not just playing against 5 Smite players. You're playing against a team that you understand. You're looking at what they like to do, and you're making your team to beat them, not to just beat 5 random players.
That's what I was looking for. Scotty ban from Illinois and a quick, immediate Thoth ban from Wisconsin. Rounds out the banning phase, and just like you said, that's what makes League so exciting compared to watching something like, I don't know, like just like a random community best, single elimination tournament. Is in those matches, you're just going to get what you want. You got to win. It's a one-time shot to get to the finals. Got to just hit the big heavy hitters, unless you know what you're going up against. But in these leagues, you're fighting for the top. You are fighting for those top seeds to make it a championship. With that, Osiris once again locked in for Constipated.
The Osiris, he had a good game on it. It's not a bad pick for him to pick up. He didn't get the victory in it, but he played well on it, so it makes sense to pick it up again. It is a very strong pick still. Maybe he thinks that he made some mistakes that he's learned from. He can do better this time around. Not a bad pickup for him. Rom on the other side, a little bit different. We've seen that early game jungler, or the early game hunter, coming out from Sir Hamilton, both games on that Kernanos. Now's Rom. Rom's much more late game, much more hunter oriented. We'll see how that transition hurts or helps him.
Especially when you couple it with that RTO. The wave clear might not be the strongest at level 1, but it will still be fairly nice for him. Those astral arrows and that druid form third ability from RTO just helps clear out very early. And speaking of early, they're going to lock in the Isis for their mid laner Hippopotamus, showing that he's got quite the flexible god pool this set. Oh, please. Please. Do it.
The Kuzenbo hover, he very well could. I mean, they need a mage, so I probably wouldn't.
Oh, no.
But he could.
You don't need mages. Mages are for losers. Kuzenbo is the only mage that you need.
Well, that is one opinion. And I mean, it is into Isis. He would have not a bad matchup. I wouldn't do it. Please don't do it. Don't ever do this in my ranked games.
Oh, hey, look who's open.
Raijin. Another top pick early. A lot of the pros, ever since his rework and his rework / buff, he's been significantly better. And I think a lot of people have grown to like him a lot more. He's a top pick, top ban in that mid lane. I'm interested to see both games. They banned out the Morrigan. This game, no one even picked the Morrigan.
No one even considered the Morgan this time around, especially when Limon had that Hun bots. Normally, that's one of the perfect assassins to pick up for a Morgan. Double Fear, No Evil, that's something that doesn't get diminished. And with diminishing returns, that's always a big factor, but it's constant fear pump. If you can get 2 of those off in a row perfectly chained together, I mean, there's no escaping from it.
Yeah, and the other interesting thing to me is no Odin. Both sides had positions for Odin to fill, and neither side went with it. It didn't get banned out. He didn't get nerfed a little bit, but he is still pretty good. I'm a little surprised we didn't see that. Like the combination you said, Hunbats and Odin work very well together.
It's disgusting. I mean, you catch somebody inside, no amount of Phantom's going to save you, because sure, they can pop Phantom, but they can throw the Fear No Evil on the backside and push you right back to the team. So, I mean, it's a dangerous combination, especially for a god like Isis to get caught out inside.
Yeah, exactly. And that's sort of, that's the situation here. I am really interested to see how this Isis goes. You brought that up. It is a very risky pick because it can get plucked by the Sobek so easily. Isis does not have a large amount of mobility. Absolutely, if Sobek can pluck that Isis movements, she's very good early, but ever since they took out Power Pot back in Season 3, Isis hasn't been that good. The thing about Isis is big early and good objective secure. Yeah, they took away that Power Pot, took away that early game. Now she really only has objective secure.
I mean, this team has a lot of objective control more than anything. With the Isis ult to secure it, they have Limon's ult with the Fear No Evil to push them away from it. They have a lot of ability to take away an objective from somebody, and we'll see if that's what they opt to play this game, or if they hold on to those Isis ultimates. They're going to match the early wave clear from a Raijin, but I mean, once Raijin hits level 2, that Raiju coupled with his Percussive Storm, I mean, it's just too much damage. It basically insta clears.
Yeah, he can very well clear at level 2 by himself. And you put him with someone like an Awilix who doesn't have the best time clearing. Awilix's clear isn't awful, but it's by no means a great jungler clear. It will make her life a lot easier. And the easier you can make an Awilix's life, the more she can rotate, the more she can pick up jungle camps, and the more she can end up ganking side lanes, which is really what she is the best at, especially early with that Feather Step. She can shut people down. She can do a lot of damage. It is a good combination. That I really like that Illinois draft. The Wisconsin draft got RTO, got Kakalin. They have those 2 big gods that I consider high meta. But Isis, I'm not so sure about. And the rest, they don't have a great synergy.
Yeah, this Isis could be the make or break for this team. But another interaction, one thing I kind of like about the Wheelish pickup is Hunbots usually uses that jump to get into the fight, and Wheelish could say, come back to my team, or, if he's trying to run away with the jump, come back. I mean, you're not coming away from there. So it's a good counter pick up against the Hunbots.
Absolutely. The one risk of that is if you pull Hunbats in, and he can beads, he can get whatever, he can drop down that ultimate. And what do is one like that. Sobek also has to be careful of that. If he plucks Hunbats, he might end up giving him a free pass into his backline, and that's not a great position to have a Hunbaz.
That's always the big risk versus reward with the Sobek is you might pluck somebody, but did you pluck the target you were going for? And who was that target you tried to pluck? You said it. If you throw Limon into the back, he could very easily get that big Fear No Evil. If you throw someone like I Havoc into the back, he's got that Spear of Immortal Pain or that War Cry, depending on what stance he's in, a big knockup or, the big tremor that comes from it. It is insane what a Cullen can do if you throw him into the back line.
Absolutely, and that's the fear. This is a good composition. Sobek and Awilix, they have good synergy. They work well together, but you gotta be really careful because if you pluck the wrong person, if you pull the wrong person, they can absolutely annihilate your carries, and then you're just helping the other team at that point.
With that, we're getting into our final game in this best of 3 set. It's 1-1 Wisconsin versus Illinois Urbana. Both teams coming out fairly strong in each game, but we've been seeing this real slow start with not a lot of fighting early on, just kind of a lot of farming, and we'll see if that transitions the same in this last game.
The most interesting thing to me is Isis went Sands of Time and nothing else. Just Sands of Time, a couple pots, but nothing else onto that.
That's a bit of a strange one. Normally we see it coupled with something, like going towards a tiny trinket, or if they want to go towards Doom Organ, the lost artifact. So nothing on top of it. They're trying to hold up on that gold. They're trying to do something with it, but we're unsure of what that something is.
I mean, potentially they just forgot. I'm not sure why you would leave base with I believe it's 500 gold.
Yeah, it depends on what. Yeah, it'd be 550, just kind of depending on which item that you would have walked out with. But going for 2 and 2 on the potions means they're looking to stay in lane just a little bit longer. But speed buff invade already from Illinois. They got that early advantage, and well, they're gonna push it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this is like I was saying with the Isis. You need to win early because you're not very good late, and Raijin's good early and late. So you lose your speed buff there. You get your Ellie's taken away, like you're gonna get nothing in return for it. They lose about a half a wave. That's not that bad. Illinois is gonna be more than happy with that.
Deeport taking quite a bit of poke from D-Trump and Genius, but he's gonna be able to get away thanks to that bear form. Gonna heal up on those minions, and this is kind of not the funnest team for Genius for an RTO to go into. Sobek does have that anti-heal with the Sickening Strike. Can play Deeport back, especially if you catch them in that bear form dash. Yeah,
Sobek is a very good counter in this meta to a lot of things. He's a very good counter to Terra, he's a very good counter to RTO, and he exists really as that counter. I think Sobek is a great pick, but he has to be picked into the right composition. This is definitely the right pick. He can get a lot of plucks, he can do a lot of damage. He's in a good position here.
He's that good all around for his team. He's got the CC that he needs for it. Yep. Oh, I think he actually just got caught out on that pluck by the stun, but Deeport ended up taking more damage than Genios from it, thanks to the power that D-Trump provides for his team.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just good fighting, good teamwork.
A little bit from Deeport, forced to use that bear form yet again, dash away from the power that Genios provides.
Yeah, Genios, that's a good pick. It's a great pick with that Sobek. He can pluck, he can dash, he can do all sorts of stuff.
Oh, Havoc, right hand side, hit by that for the afterlife, but back down into the tower, so he'll be able to get away, no problem.
But he does have to be careful. There's a gang coming over for him.
Be able to get away. No, he won't. Beautiful shot over the top from South Fam. Gonna be the first blood going the way of Illinois. Only 3 minutes this time. A little bit quicker of a first blood than we saw in the last game.
Yeah, I think that Awilix does have a good, strong early game. That Feather Step walking into lane, getting that Feather Step off, does a lot of damage. Awilix can rotate, as well as Raijin can completely take care of himself. He doesn't have to worry about it. He is going to look to go over, maybe gank left lane?
He was looking for it. It was a failed gank attempt by Limon. He threw out the Fear No Evil. He didn't get anything off of
this I've already forgot. D-Trump. He didn't get anything from it. There's
Yeah.
no beads either. That's another thing. There's no beads on D-Trump. It's an Aegis amulet.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I would have definitely looked to be going beads because there's a lot of lockdown on the other team. But I guess the Aegis for things like ROM Snipe will be helpful. For something like an RTO, just in general, RTO does a lot of damage. I don't think it's the right choice, but it's definitely not a wrong choice.
No, I mean, like you said, a lot of damage does come from that RTO. That's the power of having two stances. It's the ability to use 4 damaging-based abilities in this case, with the dash and the root, also the double cone that comes from it. It's a lot of potential damage support. So I respect the Aegis pickup. The snipes from Sir Hamilton certainly can do a lot in the early and later stages.
Yeah, and that D-Port having those 6 abilities with the stance switch is very helpful. The one thing that I have not mentioned that I should mention is the cripple. D-Port on RTO has a 6-second area of effect cripple. Against someone like Sobek, this can be incredibly valuable. You can lay down that cripple, and when he tries to use his charge prey, gank in the middle lane.
Hippopotamus, quick beads, gotta make sure that Salfam can't pull him back in. It's a good bait by Nephiliad, but fortunately for Hippopotamus, able to get out.
Yeah, I saw that coming from a mile away. I saw that a Willick Salfam was barreling towards middle lane. She knew exactly what she wanted, but just unfortunately, beads on ices completely negates all of that.
D-Drop's gonna go for these Oracle Harpies, pick up 1. Genius makes rotation to pick up the second one. Get that vision for themselves, and iHavoc now in the Berserk form. That shield is worn off. Ultimate from Nephiliad's gonna taunt iHavoc in, deal that damage. He's trying to get out, but he's not gonna get away. Nephiliad picks up 1, but the counter initiation from Limon's gonna be enough to pick back up Constipated. Looking to get aggressive, will actually hop into it, but Limon gonna fall to the power of Salfam. Spirit Ball just not enough.
Yeah, I think that this is one of the biggest things that I'm worried about. Is iHavoc the last 2 games has played Wukong, and he's had a lot of ultimates where he's been in the bad positions. He's done things that he shouldn't have done, or should have died for. But he had that Wukong ult, he had that Wukong mobility to get out of it. Now he's playing Kukulkan, and it looks like his positioning isn't as sharp as it needs to be on a warrior that isn't that Wukong.
No, just like you said, he had the ability to get out. Now, he gets that Berserk transformation if he can get it off. Get that shell for himself and get that secondary dash ability that he gets in the Berserk form. But, I mean, if he can't get into that form, all he's got is just the Salmon Leap, and not quite enough to get away from how mobile this team is from Illinois.
Yeah, and it's not anywhere near as valuable as that Wukong ultimate. That Somersault Cloud completely removes you from battle, it heals you, and it allows you to jump wherever you want. That's incredibly valuable, and I think sometimes you lean a little bit too much on that, and I think that's what we saw to iHavoc in the first couple of games, is he leaned too heavily on using that Somersault Cloud to make up for bad positioning, or over-aggressive positioning, I should say. Now he doesn't have that.
Yeah, we saw multiple times, one big shot over the side takes him down, a quarter or 3rd HP, and he immediately snaps into that ultimate. No hesitation from it. Now he doesn't have that luxury. He has a knockup that comes from it. He gets that quick CC immunity, but he can't take himself out of battle. He can't just say, oh, that was my mistake. Let me wait and hold off for my team to get back. That's another big factor, is he can go into the cloud and, hey, now my team can rotate in.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we've already seen him drop twice, and that's, bad news. He's got to figure this out. He's got to be careful with it. He can't just play willy-nilly and pretend that he's Wukong anymore. He has to make sure that his positioning is on point. Otherwise, he's going to end up in a really bad situation.
Daniel's trying to get aggressive on the Hippopotamus, but good Spirit Ball will keep him back. So Livon level 9, but not going to hit that shot with the Sacred Monkey and D-Port. Just running on past him in that big old bear form. Not going to connect onto anybody. So a lot of stuff thrown out, but not a lot of stuff hit.
Yeah, and I think the most interesting thing is Limon at level 9 did not upgrade the Fear No Evil. Fear No Evil, when you upgrade it, will give you a longer lifetime, going from 1 second all the way up to 2. Ooh.
2 ultimates expended for Sir Hamilton, including the Drums of War, but
Iliad didn't necessarily need to throw that out there. They get Hamilton, sure, but I think they spend just a little too much there.
You know what? On one hand, you're probably right. On the other hand, certainty of getting that is never a bad thing. Yes, you do have to expend an ult you probably don't need, but at the same point, you got to kill. And that's way more valuable than having an ultimate and, not using it.
And Nephiliad probably not looking to fight anytime soon, just wants to get that farm online, as it looks like he's going towards that Book of Thought, wants to get those stacks for himself, get that extra mana, get that extra power for himself.
Yeah, iHavoc's having a tough time. He's pinned under tower. This Osiris is absolutely beating on him anytime he leaves. He's in a bad spot right now. He's already died twice. He is the same level, but, it's not the same way. His morale's a little bit hurted. He's not really able to fight into this Osiris, and I think it's hurting him mentally more than it's hurting him physically.
Yeah, when you just can't do anything to your opponent, when you're constantly hitting him with those abilities, throwing out those autos, getting the big numbers, but you just look back and he heals up on the wave, or he heals up with his abilities, and whatever it may be, it's just kind of demoralizing. It's like, I'm doing all this work, but all for nothing.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's really tough. You're sitting there going, I've played against this guy twice. Oh, the big gank on his left lane.
But it's going to get that Wild Hunt out, and that's all Limon wanted. He wanted the ultimate from it because he knows that D-Trump does not have those beads, but it's the turn around to fight back onto Limon. Good Fear No Evil, but it's not enough. Salfam gonna pick him up. Spirit Ball over the wall from Hippopotamus, not going to connect. Genio's going to get re-aggressive with his lurk in the water. He's going to get rooted in place by D-Port. The cripple comes through. Silent Spirit Ball. Genio's not able to get out.
That was the beauty of the cripple right there. D-Port had him forever. 6 seconds. As soon as you see that cripple come out, you're not going anywhere. And I think he knew, well, I'm dead. As soon as you see that, you're gone. But I get it. I get the aggression there, at least.
I think the big thing is it's not just the cripple, it's a moving cripple. That's the key to why people really like this RDO pick is, against super mobile comps, the ability to chase them down with a cripple around you means that they just can't run away from you.
Yeah. And I mean, you can turn into the bear, you keep the cripple, and you chase them down. iHavoc needs to be a little careful. The Iliad's doing a lot of damage to him. The shell is out, at least.
Can use that spear to get himself a little out of danger, just below them, but slowed down by that Raiju, and one more shot from Constipated will pick up Havoc for his third death of the game.
And that was the thing. Yeah, he was in the jungle. He was in the enemy's jungle, which worked fine if you're Wukong, but as soon as he wasn't, and that team collapsed in on him, he was in so much trouble. They're going to get the Portal Demon for that. That's the problem, is he's not playing smart. He's not playing like he's playing Cucullin. He's playing like he's still playing Wukong. And I'm not sure that this Cucullin pick was the right pick now.
I mean, like you said back in the picks and bans, you got the Cucullin, you got the RDO.
Yep.
So now what? What are you going to do with it? How is your team going to work with them? And so far, I mean, it's got him a couple of kills, but Havoc is just not putting in the work on this Cucullin. Gold Fury going to go down very quickly to Illinois. The shots from Sir Hamilton, not enough to take down Genios. That's going to be a free Gold Fury at 12.5 minutes for Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois is really pushing this lead. They've done all the right thing. They felt it out. They lost the last game, but now this time they're bringing it back, and we're sort of seeing we're seeing them pushing aggressively. We're seeing them put the lead in that Wisconsin put them in the last game. Wisconsin last game was very aggressive, put them down gold. This game, we're seeing it the opposite. Illinois got them down 3,000 gold, and iHavoc is here again, proxying waves and getting caught out.
Gets knocked out by the Willish. Southfam not going to let him go for that kind of a move, but Good Fear No Evil from his teammate might get him out just for the time being. He will. Constipated not going to turn his sights towards him. The Iliad now looks towards Limon as Salfam got low as well. Limon knocked out by the Thunder Crash, but still alive. Nobody's perished until now when D-Trump gets to go to Wild Hunt.
Yeah, that was again, he was in the wrong spot. He was so aggressive. He was trying to proxy, but and that's fine. You can proxy, but you can't proxy when you're so far behind and you have no idea where the jungler is. A Willix showed up and they went hard on him. iHavoc walks away. His stat line isn't going to reflect that he did anything wrong, but Limon's dead, and that's directly his fault. That's a tough situation.
Constipated. They can get a lot of damage under that tower, and D-Port will be the one to finish him off. Him and Genios trying to push down that T1, but 2 tanks are going to do so in left-hand side. Salfam with the 1v1 onto Sir Hamilton. That's another kill for Illinois.
Yeah, they're spreading this map out right now. I mean, I think that they saw that the rotation was going to go right to try and stop Constipated and Genios' push onto that tier 1. And Salfam on that A-Willix just went left and went, well, if they're all over there, no one's defending their carry, I can pick up this kill pretty easily.
And he had his beads and his, well, I think he just now picked up the Aegis going back to base, but he had his beads online. Salfam just didn't use the ult, though. He didn't need it because he was able to put out that damage towards him. So great heads-up play by Salfam. Sir Hamilton will have beads for the next fight, but it'll be a little while before we see that.
Yeah, and I think you're just going to... The biggest thing here is, D-Trump has to be careful. There's a lot of people over there. Oh, never mind. I'm on the wrong side here. I was thinking they were coming behind his tower, but he's pushing the other way. That makes a lot of sense. This is the thing. This is the problem with best of threes. Is I get my teams flipped on which side they're supposed to be on, I guess.
Havoc once again pushed under the tower. Salfam and Iliad wants to push this down this time. Constipated, make a rotation over, but Havoc forced to jump away. His tower is going to fall. First tower of the game and 500 gold for Illinois. Or actually, that's the second tower for Illinois to drop down. I didn't even see them take that mid tier 1.
It went very fast. They got rid of it. Havoc there. It was a smart play. He gave it up. That was all he could do. He's not tanky enough to be fighting into 3. He's not tanky enough to be fighting into 2. Hell, he might not even be tanky enough to be fighting into 1 at this point. He needs to get some farm. He needs to get some items online. He's not behind in levels, which is fine.
I mean, it's all right, but you want your Cucullin to be ahead. You want him to be that frontline force. And when you're saying even with a god like Osiris, who is supposed to just, be the dominant bully at all stages, sure, it's nice, but right now, Havoc just doesn't have quite the defense to stay online. He's got that Gladiator shield, looking towards possibly a Midgardian mail to try and counteract against Constipated, but so far, I mean, he's just really been unimpactful.
Yeah, and I don't want to throw all the blame on him. I mean, it's not just him. I mean, Limon has also died 3 times, as well as Sir Hamilton has died twice. It's not entirely all his fault, but it is a situation where, he's leaving a bit of a crack in the armor, and that can be bad for everyone else around him. Sir Hamilton needs to be careful here. There's a lot of people over there.
Not only that, Constipated needs to be careful himself in the mid lane. 4 members trying to take him down. Sir Hamilton will fall to D-Trump. It's the 3-man rotation to that side. And Constipated getting out just means it's a free 1-for-0 for Illinois.
Yeah, Sir Hamilton blew a lot of things there. He blew both his relics. Genios might be in a bit of trouble here.
Has that lurk in the waters to get out for now. D-Port gonna run for it on the bear form with the big drums coming out from the Iliad. Jump over from Limon with the Fear No Evil into the back, but it's not gonna do quite enough just yet. Havoc in the front line, now forced to use that leap to get away. And Constipated just gotta make sure that support goes back to his side of the map.
Yeah, Wisconsin needed to just they tried to engage there, but they really needed to leave. They didn't have their hunter. It's really hard to win a 4v5 at any point. In a game where you're actually behind, it's not a good idea to take a 4v5 without your hunter. They did the best that they could. They tried to engage a little bit, but at the end of the day, you're going to have to leave. They do have to be careful not to give up this Gold Fury for free, though.
Hamilton does have that ultimate, but he's not within range to get it. I don't even think they know that it's being taken down.
No one's over there.
In Illinois, another Gold Fury for their name. That's the second one for them. And we talked about objective control and objective securing for the side of Wisconsin, but so far, we haven't seen any of it.
Yeah, no, they're just ignoring them. They're doing Portal Demon right now. No one's moving. No one's reacting. Just a Portal Demon. Maybe the sound effect will let them know that it's getting done. Nothing. There's no reaction to it. It's not quick, crisp reaction. They probably could have gone for Fire Giant there, and I don't think anyone would have showed up.
No, I don't think anybody from the side of Wisconsin would have known. And like you said, there's a difference between being a reactive team and the way that Wisconsin's playing now, they're just not being reactive at all. A fight breaks loose, and, well, I mean, we can try over here, but we didn't get it, so, oh, well, we're just going to back off. Oh, hey, Gold Fury got taken. Maybe we should move over to the Portal Demon, but Portal got taken as well.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, to some degree it is a... Oh, they are...
But what are they doing? Why are they on the left side of the map?
I wish I could tell you. The only one over here is iHavoc, and I'm not even sure if he knows. He's just sort of there.
Well, now the entire team of Wisconsin knows that they may have made a mistake, and iHavoc probably going to pay for the sins of his team as Southfam takes him down thanks to the help of 5 members from Illinois standing with that Fire Giant buff. And the reactions from Wisconsin are just too slow. This tier 2 is going to get taken down very quickly, and then the Phoenix is going to be open for them.
Yeah, I think that a thing that it doesn't show up on the stat line, obviously, is the fact that this is the best of 3. This is a long game, you know, or it's a long set. We're on to the 3rd match. They've been playing for, you know, over an hour by a lot. You know, at this point, you're probably pretty tired. The games are starting to blur together a little bit. You know, it's happening for me as a caster. I'm not even having much to do to think. I forget which side which team is on, you know?
I forget to sync up early. I mean, it happens when you have these long sets is your fatigue starts kicking in. And so far, Illinois is showing that they have a little bit more in them than this Wisconsin squad. As tier 1 and left side drops, the tier 2 and mid fell earlier. And now only tower left on the board is this dual lane tier 2 tower.
Yeah, and I think that they're just going to... I think they are going to back and buy at this point. They have a lot of gold in hand. You know, it's a lot of them have... No one on that team has under 1,000 gold in hand. No. Might as well back and buy, you know, 1,500 gold to buy you a lot of things in this game. So go back, get what you can. You're still going to have Fire Giant when you come back. So might as well back, buy, and then re-push.
They're going to have this Fire Giant another 2.5 minutes before it falls off. Plenty of time to go back, get those big items online, finish off your defenses, finish off your offensive items. You see the Bancross talent from the Philiad picked up, Stone Cutting Sword from Southfam, a inside picked up by Concentrated, a little questionable onto that one, but I mean, at this point, he's an Osiris that's well ahead. The levels don't quite show it, but Constipated, he has put his mark down onto Havoc.
He could absolutely just be feeling himself a little bit here. You know, he's building up that kin size. And on the flip side, iHavoc went into the Wing Blade, so he's not even that tanky either. He has no magical protections. Nephiliad will absolutely shred iHavoc if he's anywhere near him. Sir Hamilton, both his actives down.
And
it's gonna, just has to ult in order to not get knocked up there. That's a smart play on his part.
Not only that, the Fear No Evil expended as well. Genio's going to jump in aggressively, forcing out Nitrum's ultimate. Well, throwing out the drums, a lot of ults thrown out, but so far, nobody's been able to connect onto anyone. No kills, but important part, Sir Hamilton has 0 defensive measures next fight.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a big problem. I think the biggest thing right now that we're seeing is everyone's Illinois squad is doing so much damage. You know, the top 4 players in this game in damage are that side. You know, it is all the damage is coming out from there. Kernanos is doing, 15,000 damage at this point. It's big. There's a lot of damage. They're hitting very hard, and this Wisconsin team just doesn't have an answer for it.
No, iHavoc does have that ultimate, very close to the Rage form as well. If he can get a good Billy in, he could transform into the Berserk form, get some big damage off, but so far, they're just pushed under this Phoenix. He's going to get that Berserk, goes in with the War Cry, but the rest of Illinois moving into the backline. Constipated and Genios forcing out the members of Wisconsin, just so Illinois can get the Phoenix, but Illinois is going to lose Constipated. Sir Hamilton pumping out the damage into him. Phoenix will fall, and that's going to be the retreat from the 3 other members of Illinois.
Yeah, if Genios dies here, it's not the end of the world. He's going to go down. Sir Hamilton gets the kill. You know what? You're going to go back, you're going to pick up this Gold Fury, I'm pretty sure. They're going to get this as well. You end up with a Phoenix, you end up with a Gold Fury, and not just any Phoenix. You end up with the Phoenix on the opposite side of the Fire Giant. This is major. It forces them to go all the way over there to defend the Phoenix and the Fire Minions when it's creeping up. If you take down the middle Phoenix, or you take down the Phoenix on the side of the Fire Giant, then someone can go and clean up the waves, and you're not going to lose too much. But if it's over there, someone has to be not defending fire. I like this play here by Wisconsin getting the Portal Demon, though.
Yeah, they need this Portal Demon. They need to make sure that Illinois doesn't have that free route to the Fire Giant. It came down last time. They lost the Gold Fury for free. Sound cue goes off. Oh, man, they're at Gold Fury. Well, oh, well, that sucks. Oh, wait, what? That was the Portal Demon? At that point, when the Portal Demon audio goes off, that's where you got to think, maybe they're back on that right side of the map because they can just teleport in.
Yeah. And I think maybe they got a little overconfident. Maybe because they won last game and they won it pretty handily. You know, maybe they felt like this was the right game. This was theirs to take, and they played a little bit too freely, a little bit too relaxed. They do have to be careful. No one is over there on this Fire Giant. Like, they could start this up. I'm not sure they know exactly where Wisconsin is, but I have it as the closest, and he's still pretty far away.
Well, look where they're all standing. It's the Portal Demon portal. It's still active for them. They want to make sure that goes down before they fully commit to the Fire Giant.
I mean, I think that that's valid, but if they don't have wards on it, which they don't, they aren't going to know.
Well, doesn't matter anyways. Portal is down, and so is the Fire Giant. One more time, Illinois picks it up cleanly and freely. I have it, the only one in the area, but once again, is not able to do too much for him. Going to be forced to jump away from South Fam, and now back under the Phoenix is Wisconsin.
Yeah, maybe being in the area wasn't the best call, because he was in a bit of trouble there. If he Willis had, maybe hit things right in the right order there or whatever, could have been in trouble. Huge fight into here. Sir Hamilton has to come over. He's still not there. This is a bad fight.
Hippopotamus is just gone. Limon may be the next one. He's going to jump away for the time being, but I know that Southam ain't going to let that one happen just yet. Southam, however, he's stuck in the middle of 3 members. He will fall. Phoenix still alive for the time, but one more shot from Trump will be enough to take it down. And again, they're more than happy sacking a couple of members to get a Phoenix. Double kill for Sir Hamilton as Janios once again unable to make it out. But it's been 2 Phoenix attempts, 2 Phoenix secures.
Yeah, absolutely. And losing, it was your solo laner and your support the first time. This time, it's your jungler and your support. You're going to deal with that. You're still going to have your Fire Giant on your carries. And I mean, in this situation, you're going to have it on your solo laner as well. There's a lot of things you can do with it. You can go back, you can get some farm, you can buy some wards. Wisconsin's just going to try and pick up this tier 1, try and get something out of that. Get a bit of gold in your pocket and maybe make your defense a little bit easier. But it's a risk. This is a tough spot now with 2 Phoenixes down. You have to defend them.
I mean, getting into this, we're almost 26 and a half, 27 minutes into the game. The gold lead is 13,000 for Illinois, experience close to 8,000. We've seen it time and time again, but do you think that one successful Phoenix hold is all it's going to take for Wisconsin to stay in this?
I mean, I absolutely do. As silly as that might seem, it's going to take more than one. I'll tell you that right now. But if you win a team fight at 50 minutes into the game, you just win the game. Like, it's that level of opportunity. And we have seen trouble from these teams in sieging. Yes, they've gotten 2 Phoenixes down. This game has looked a lot better on their sieging. But you do have to remember, they did lose 2 members both times. This Phoenix siege is going to be a lot easier, though, I think. Now...
I mean, this Phoenix is only at 15% HP, maybe 25, I guess, because of the way that it respawns onto. But it's going to be weak. It's going to be hard for him. Limon going to get the first initiation with the Blink ultimate, but it's not enough as he gets yanked back by Southam, forced to jump out. Hamilton standing at half HP. He has to go back. And Havoc jumping into 5 gets transformed into little piggy, but he will be able to help take down D-Trump.
Yeah, that was a good play by him. He went a little too hard. He did get taken down, but he definitely got that kill in return. The ROM ult isn't going to do enough damage even if he hits it, but I understand it's the last thing you can do at that point. Might as well give it a try. That was a good Phoenix take though.
Yeah, it was a little bit cleaner than their last ones. This time it was Limon being the aggressor as opposed to Illinois making the first move. And that's really what Wisconsin needs, but there was just no follow-up after the Fear No Evil came through, after the Blink came out. Limon just kind of went in and nothing happened.
Yeah, and his team is very behind, and it is a tough one. Limon as well, everyone on that Wisconsin side is. Tough situation. You're down so much, and they're pushing onto you with Fire Giant. Now they get another Gold Fury. They're probably going to get Portal that's going to respawn right soon here if they want to go over and defend it. It's really difficult. The only thing you can do is get wards out and try and save your Titans, save your Phoenixes, save something.
I think they just need to save themselves in most instances.
Yeah.
Portal Demon has spawned back up. Genio's going to be the one to start it up for his team. D-Trump makes a rotation in just to put some damage out, and nobody from Wisconsin is willing to make the move to stop this Portal Demon. And to be honest, they really can't. Limon is probably the only one who could really make an attempt at it, but it's already down.
Yeah, there's not a lot you can do. If you go for it, you risk dying, or you risk left lane pushing in, or right lane, because this right lane is going to be respawning soon, which is, I mean, conveniently timed. This Illinois squad is going to look to push right lane right here, because the Phoenix is going to have a fire wave into it. You can very much bring that Phoenix down and then go for Fire Giant.
But they're going to opt to go back instead. They do still have that portal open for themselves, so it's going to go back, heal themselves up, especially the Philiad, who took a lot of poke from Hippopotamus in that last little skirmish. As the Fire Giant respawns for the third time this game, Illinois Urbana might be looking to close this one out, but this time Wisconsin gonna be on the response for it. Genios gets stunned out, put down to about 2/3 HP, but in the lurking in the water, to keep some CC immunity. Southfam in the back, gets the ultra on to Hamilton, D-ports down, D-Trump gets the credit for the hit. Constipated takes down Sir Hamilton. Hippopotamus just trying to run away, but he can't escape the wrath of Southfam and Illinois Urbana.
Oh, Havoc luckily had the wing blade there. That was the only reason that he did get out. He got slowed. They're going to be fine with that, going to take the Fire Giant. The biggest thing there why they lost that fight was Hunbats was in left lane. Hunbats needed to be in left lane to stop the Phoenix, the fire or elemental or fire minions, but that's the biggest thing is it's hard to win a 4v5, and they kind of had to take it. You know, they couldn't give that Fire Giant up for free, but now they're in an even worse spot. So did it do harm or did it do good? It's hard to say.
I mean, it's almost impossible to say at this stage, especially with how far ahead Illinois is. They're looking to end out this set and take the victory this week. Fear no evil from Limon, but answered immediately by the drums and the Philiad. D-Trump takes him down, but Illinois takes the Titan for the second and final time tonight.
That was absolutely fantastic. You know, the first game was super close. The second game, Wisconsin, I thought they felt them out. The third game, though, Illinois came back. They did the right things. I do really like the Emperor's armor on the Sobek. They were having trouble sieging. He bought Emperor's armor. Now it's easier to siege. Great things like that. Very smart plays. A huge GG. Congratulations to Illinois. Condolences to Wisconsin. Both these teams played absolutely phenomenal. It was a real pleasure to watch it, and it was a real pleasure to get to cast it with you, J-Mac.
I mean, it's been a pleasure having you out here. This is your debut here on the AVGL, and one of your first debut casted to have bad, and you got to watch a pretty good game out of it. Both these teams ending out 1-1 after this matchup. Wisconsin was on the upper hand 1-0 for week one, but Illinois showing that they've got what it takes to take down some of the higher opposition of them. And with that, unfortunately, we're out of time here for Smite. In about 30 or so minutes, we will be coming back with some League of Legends action. But that's going to do it for us tonight. Emu has been my partner in crime here on the mic. Jithan's on production. And our oh-so-lovely administrator, commissioner, man with the band hammer, choo-choo train, doing what he does best. It's going to do it for us here at the AVGL Collegiate Smite League. And we'll see you guys back tomorrow.